The Australians had done it again. Another triumph, another trophy. The inaugural Tri-Nations, extending their all-conquering run against Great Britain. Danny Maguire was only a sub in the Tri-Nations final. He just couldn't turn on his Leeds style. 39 tries last year as the Rhinos won the title. So is he the man to put the smile back on the face of the British game? The Leeds faithful had waited 32 years to celebrate a championship, and at Old Trafford last year, Kevin Sinfield and company discovered their holy grail. It was quite a first season in charge for coach Tony Smith. And so the Rhinos' British contingent returned to the scene of last November's disappointment. Gareth Ellis is Leeds' major off-season signing, and along with youngsters Ryan Bailey and the big prop forward Danny Ward and young Chev Walker with the irrepressible Keith Senior, they'll all be hoping to put the record straight. But Canterbury Bulldogs arrive as proud NRL Premiers, their first title since 1995. Under strength may be, who wouldn't miss the power of Mark O'Mealy, one of the Kangaroo stars last year. And with Willie Mason also still injured, this is a golden opportunity for the Rhinos. But don't count your chickens just yet. Remember the form of Sonny Bill Williams last autumn for New Zealand. He's an immense talent. And what about Hazem El Masri on the wing? The flyer with the deadly boot, almost 350 points last year. And yes, there are plenty of other stars here too. The Rhinos will underestimate the Bulldogs at their peril. And so, after 32 years of waiting, the Leeds Rhinos are the champions of the Super League at last. Now, can they add the World Club crown to their honours list? It'll be tough. The Bulldogs are no mugs, but British clubs have won 3 of the last 4. What better way is there to kick off a new rugby league season? Moments that will live with these players for the rest of their lives. And welcome along to Elland Road. There's another massive crowd in here. It's a fantastic endorsement of the Leeds Rhinos' achievement of last year in claiming that league title. It's almost a full house here, and an entire city, indeed, the whole of the rugby league tonight will be united behind the men from Headingley. And a happy Super League year to all of you. Welcome along to this World Club Championship, and what a great way to start the brand new season. And who knows, at the end of the night, Leeds just might be claiming the tag of World Champions and celebrating by picking up this lovely piece of silverware as well. The British contingent here will be keeping their fingers crossed. And as special guests tonight, we have 2 men who know exactly what it's like to win World Championships. Brian Noble coached the Bradford Bulls to the triumph just 12 months ago, and Ian Millwood of St Helens, he was the man who led the Saints in 2001. Brian, you're back at Elland Road just over a couple of months since the Tri-Nations final. Are we going to be smiling tonight, do you think?
We've come straight from rehab, I think we will be. It's a great occasion. I have to admit to being a little bit green-eyed and envious of the Rhinos tonight. I think it's a great occasion, and he'll tell you the same. We were very, very proud to be world champions, not once but twice, and it's a special game. Don't let me tell you any different. It's a high-profile, exciting, big crowded game.
There is a little bit of scepticism in Australia about it. I mean, they always tend to bring a weakened side. Injuries have weakened the Bulldogs tonight. But if Leeds win this, that doesn't diminish the success that they will achieve.
Well, I think views have changed a little bit. Penrith was certainly well prepared last year, and they told us so on the statements they were making in the press. And I've made a few phone calls to Australia myself this week, and speaking to people there, so you've got to be careful with the Bulldogs. They often write themselves out of things in a low profile, and you give the impression that they're not ready for this, that and the other, and then wham, they hit you on the day. So I think they'll be very, very ready.
Well, they will be ready. Leeds Rhinos certainly will be ready, and this young man, Danny Maguire, will be ready as well. He lit the Super League up in 2004, 39 tries. Didn't quite hit the high spots in the Tri-Nations competition, but boy, what a year in Super League this young man had. And Ian Millwood, perhaps Danny Maguire is the man to put the smile back on our faces tonight.
Well, if he does the exploits of last year, all those tries, that's what they're looking for. And I'm sure Brian was looking at in the try series. But he would have learned a lot from that try series, because that's where players learn at the highest level. It's interesting, the guy he's up against tonight, Braithen Astor. Braith was looked upon as the wonder boy of Australian Rugby League. Brad Fittler has now retired. Trent Barrett is probably number one. He's probably number two, so it's a great test for Denny tonight, up against a very good player in Braithen Astor, who also have to carry a lot of the playmaking roles, because Brent Sherwin, their halfback's out, and a couple of their experienced forwards are out. So it's a big night for both Sixers. I think both coaches are counting on them.
I'm sure they are. It's a big night for the two clubs. What does it mean to be able to say you were world champions? Because you at St Helens, you've still got that up above your doorway, haven't you? World champions 2001.
Well, it's fantastic. You know, I mean, Brian's lucky enough to win it twice. I've been involved with two. I've had a win and a loss, and it's not very often in your life you can say you're a world champion, and it's not very often your town or your city can say they're world champions. So it's something. It's a tag you carry with you for 12 months, and it's a tag you carry for the rest of your life. And I remember when we won it, you know, the jubilation amongst the players who'd even won Challenge Cup and Super League titles, it was their best feeling. And we played the Brisbane Broncos, who were an extremely talented team then, and the memories will live here forever. And these guys, you only get one chance at it, and you only get for winning Super League or the NRL competition. So it's a hard-fought way to get in the final, to get it. The tag of world champions, fantastic.
Well, the Leeds Rhinos will start tonight as favourites to become the World Club Champions, purely and simply because of the strength of their squad. As we go out to join Bill Arthur, Bill, let me just say this, it is virtually a grand final lineup that the Rhinos are producing tonight.
Absolutely, Eddie. The plus of Gareth Ellis there, the minus though, the absence of Matt Diskin. He is very annoyed to be missing out tonight. Of course, he sustained a knee injury in the Tri-Nations series just a few minutes into his Great Britain debut, I think it was. He is out until June. He is going to be a big miss for the Rhinos at the start of this campaign, which means Andrew Doonerman gets an important role for them tonight. And there was some doubt about Danny Maguire's involvement. He's been carrying a bit of a groin injury apparently. Had it been very heavy, wet conditions here tonight, I don't think he would have played, but it's very firm underfoot. He should be okay, at least to get through tonight's game. And great support, as you've mentioned, for the Rhinos here tonight, about 37 in the ground, support from far and wide, including from the England Rugby Union side. Of course, the Rhinos and England trained together just a few weeks ago. Coaches Andy Robinson and Tony Smith have been exchanging good luck messages for their respective big matches this weekend, and if you believe some of the pre-match hype about the Rhinos, well, they should coast to victory tonight, but that is not a trap they're going to fall into.
I know lots been talked about Canterbury. It's going to be a tough match. It's going to be hard. It's going to start fast. You know, they're a good team. I just think it's been a bit of hype around it. It's taken some pressure off the Bulldogs and maybe put some on us, but we'll just do our best tonight.
So does that mean you've got to give your guys an extra wake-up call, not to be complacent?
I don't think I have to. You know, I think they can read between the lines. They know it's going to be a tough match. They're prepared themselves for a tough match. So, you know, it's best team on the night, and they know that. And it's down to hard work and all those sort of things. Most times the right team wins, you know. So, you know, if we work hard enough, we'll come out with a win.
Tony Smith, who of course made the major close season signing for the Rhinos this year, when he signed Gareth Ellis from the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. It's a dream move for Gareth Ellis, and already he looks very much at home in the Rhinos jersey.
A life through a lens. Gareth Ellis is getting used to being the focus of attention as the new boy in a team of champions.
It's been really good. I've settled in really well. Obviously, it's been a big help knowing a lot of the lads already, and that were one of the reasons why I decided to join Leeds. There's a lot of young players here, you know, that could be, and I think Leeds can be a force for a long, long time, and hopefully I can be a part of that.
As last season drew to a close, it was clear that the Wakefield starlet was going to be in big demand. First, it looked like Bradford would sign him. Then Warrington showed an interest, but he ended up in the amber and blue of Leeds.
I really enjoyed my time at Wakefield, but I just felt that this time now was time for me to move on. And while I had the opportunity, and obviously I had a couple of big clubs interested, I thought, why not take the chance now?
And what better way to start your new job than with a game against the best club in Australia and the chance to win silverware?
One of the reasons I left were the players, and another reason is to play in these big games. Like I say, it'll be a massive start from the Leeds Rhinos career.
Like the rest of us, Gareth could only watch as Leeds were celebrating grand final victory last year. This time he has the chance to be in among them. Now there's a challenge to relish.
Yes, a dream move for Gareth Ellis. There he is out on the park wearing number 20 in the Rhinos squad this year. He will operate at loose forward tonight. And Gareth Ellis, what a great move for him. What a place to start in the World Club Championship. Elland Road is filling up rapidly. It's going to be quite a battle between the best of British and the best of Australian. And when we turn the spotlight on the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Why do I always end up working with football players?
Rebecca Lewis in a new episode of Dream Team, Sunday 8 o'clock, Sky 1.
Good party last night. Nivea for Men Revitalizing Cream Q10 moisturizes and refreshes your skin to help you look better than you feel. I'm glad I don't have to go through that. Revitalizing Cream Q10. And to avoid tired-looking eyes, Revitalizing Eye Relief Q10. From Nivea for Men, advanced face care.
During your lifetime, your eyes will capture over 24 million images. To enable us to see exactly what you're seeing, every Vision Express optometrist has over 100 different ways to assess your eyes. For a thorough eye examination, see an expert. Vision Express.
Well, I can't stand hospital waiting lists, but I think paying for medical treatment is a real pain in the gluteus maximus.
I've got just the remedy. Our 6-week option costs less than you'd think. And if you fall ill and the NHS can't treat you in 6 weeks, you'll go private straight away.
AXA PPP Healthcare 6-week option. AXA. Be life confident.
Hi, it's me. It's Jack Nicklaus. How do you like the course we did? You want to play a few holes? Maybe tomorrow, Jack? Hey, it's me again. How about a few holes after lunch? Maybe tomorrow, Jack. Oh, there you are. Tomorrow, Jack. Tomorrow, Jack!
On a Polaris World golf resort, you get so much more than just a luxury property.
Maybe tomorrow, Jack.
The only problem is fitting it all in. Polaris World. Live the dream.
To fly in the RAF.
Silence. It is how I am inspired. It is only through silence that a true artist can work. It takes an enormous amount of effort to create silence. If I had one message to the rest of the world about the importance of silence, I would scream it at them. The all-new Ford Focus.
Angelina Jolie, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, tomorrow at 8 and 9 on Sky Movies.
Rugby League is back on Sky Sports for 2005. Monday at 8 on Sky Sports 2, a Boots and All special as we preview the brand new Super League season that kicks off next Friday at 7:30 at Hull. Hull against the champions Leeds, 7:30 next Friday, Sky Sports 1, and Sky Sports 1 next Saturday, 6 o'clock, as Lee make their Super League bow against the Huddersfield Giants. Right now, the perfect way to kick the new season into life. It's Leeds Rhinos, champions of the Super League, against the Canterbury Bulldogs, champions of the NRL, for the right to call themselves the champions of the world. Well, now, it's not been all work and no play for the men from Canterbury since they arrived here. They have been out and about. They've been taking in one or two of the major sites on a sightseeing mission, and some have been just a little bit better than others.
You know, they're a tough lot here in York. They've seen off the Romans, they've seen off the Vikings, but will they see off this latest invasion? They came, they saw, they did the tourist thing. The Canterbury Bulldogs may be aiming for world domination tonight, but first they did a spot of sightseeing.
We haven't got anything this old or this much history in Australia, so it's always good to get away from football for a bit and you know, just relax and worry about other things.
Other things like the ghouls and ghosts of the York dungeon.
I have seen things in my line of work which you are spared.
Right, as you can see, you woke them up. I heard you. You woke them up, and now it's got to get bled now.
They're not from Eden of Wessex then, I take it.
They shouldn't be taken too much by surprise tonight. The man who manages the team is none other than Bradley Clyde, a former Leeds player who knows a thing or two about the Rhinos.
A lot of players that were coming through at the point where I was here in 2001, they were playing in the academy system, and to their credit and to the credit of the academy, that they've come through and now very good players. And Danny Maguire and the young fullback Kevin Sinfield, they're all young players, so they're going to be at Leeds for a long time.
The Bulldogs have had to face a few horrors of a different kind this week, with injuries forcing Clyde himself to prepare for a possible call-up.
At the start of the week I trained with the team and really enjoyed it. I haven't had the duties of a professional athlete for a number of years now, but I'd like to stay relatively fit, but not quite at the level of a first-grade rugby league player. But if push come to shove, I would certainly don the boots.
We saw some horrors in there. Going to get the same on the field?
Yeah, we're hoping to, not make as many errors as the other team, and I think that's where probably the game's going to be won. Whoever makes the least amount of errors will win the game.
It takes a lot to spook this lot, but then again, they've not been to the real House of Pain. 80 minutes at Elland Road.
Well, they're under strength, the Bulldogs, so they say, but as we join Chris Warren, Chris, I tell you what, the Leeds Rhinos will underestimate this lot at their peril.
That's for sure, Eddie, and the fact that these guys have been sightseeing this week, don't let that fool you. They're here on serious business. They're very serious about taking this title back to the Belmore Club. And when it comes to performing in the face of adversity, there can perhaps be no better club anywhere in the world of rugby league at doing that than Canterbury Bulldogs. You only have to look at the events of the past couple of years to see that. Now, if they are these underdogs to topple the Rhinos tonight, they've got some more hurdles they're going to have to jump. They've only been in the country for less than a week. They haven't played a single match since defeating the Roosters back in October, and perhaps more importantly, the team playing tonight really doesn't resemble that won the NRL Premiership last year. Of course, a few players have moved on to other clubs, including their former captain Stephen Price, but they really have been hit by some serious injuries. The likes of Brent Sherwin, Ben Harris, Matt Utai, Mark O'Mealy, Big Willie Mason, and of course their grand final winning captain Andrew Ryan. Their coach Steve Folkes, he doesn't care. He's here to win it. He's got 17 fresh players, and I caught up with him just a few moments ago and asked him about his preparation this week.
We brought the best team we could muster for this game. We've taken it pretty seriously, and the guys are pretty excited about it, and we'll give a good account of ourselves.
How do you feel about some reports in the press that perhaps you're not taking it as seriously as you should?
I'd probably say that those people who are making those comments haven't been to training.
Okay, you've got some hurdles in front of you, as I've already said. How's your preparation been?
Yeah, since we got here, it's been sort of gradually improved. as they've got a bit used to the conditions and got over the plane flight. So we're a bit loose early in the week, but it's certainly tightened up a fair bit, and we've trained the last couple of sessions, been really good.
Steve Folkes talking a few minutes ago to Chris Warren. I must say, all week I've been really fancying the Leeds Rhinos to do the trick for British Rugby League tonight, but listening to Steve Folkes, Brian Noble, I've just got a little bit wary all of a sudden. Do you really think that they can come and pull off a shock, the Bulldogs?
No, I don't think they can. I think Leeds are a strong team. I think they've prepared well. The coach is a smart fella and their team know how to win big games. It's going to be a huge crowd. It's going to be in the Leeds Rhinos' favour. Some of the young blokes for Canterbury Bankstown would have experienced the noise levels that can be generated at these cages in England. The crowd levels are slightly different. I think everything's in Leeds' favour, and I think they'll win handsomely.
I don't think anyone has ever asked you this week about this business that the Bradford Bulls were supposed to have offered to play the Bulldogs in a warm-up match. Now, that was almost, for the Great Britain coach, a traitorous move, if I might say so. But no one's asked you about it, so I'm asking you, what was all that about?
Well, it never happened. It didn't take place, so there's much ado about nothing. But having said that, the Bradford had the opportunity to work against Canterbury, we would have done, and that's purely selfish reasons for Bradford. I don't consider it disloyal or anything, because I'm back in Leeds tonight and I think they'll win.
Fair enough. OK, there we are from the horse's mouth. Ian Millwood, would you have done the same for Wigan?
I just can't. All the Leeds fans got to realise Brian's right behind them, you know what I mean? He loves them, you know what I mean? You remember that when you play a local derby this year, OK? But I've done that for Wigan. No.
Fair enough. What about this match tonight? Because we've already talked about the kudos of being World Club champions.
Yeah.
It is in the script for Leeds to win it this evening, isn't it?
Well, it's all made there. You've got to look at a couple of things straight away. They've had a couple of warm-up games, Canterbury's had none. The conditions are suited, they've got all these fans here raving them on, and when they get down to their try line, they're going to beg them not to score, and they're going to beg their team to score at the other end. You've also got the weather, it's a bit cool, and their body temperatures are going to be a little bit struggling there for a little while, because I know when Jamie Lyon just came out recently, his first couple of training sessions, he was gasping for air for the cold. On top of that, they've got some key people out, which is going to be hard. But they've got young guys, this is a great opportunity for them. You've got a Leeds team, this is their second big occasion. This is a big opportunity, can they step up after winning a Super League Grand Final? A lot of questions, a lot of things in favour of Leeds. I think they'll win because of all those reasons.
All right, we're all going to keep our fingers crossed, and there are well over 35,000 people inside this ground tonight, just hoping that Leeds Rhinos can do the trick and just put the memory of the Tri-Nations final to bed once and for all. Let's hope that the British flags really are flying tonight. Let's hope that we're all smiling at the end of the night. But hey, these are the Australian champions, don't forget, and it is a mighty task that faces the Leeds Rhinos. Wonderful way to start the brand new Super League season, though, isn't it? The World Club Championship. Leeds or Canterbury, who wants it the most?
Half-price glasses sale now on at Boots Opticians.
Cyprus, welcome to the island for all seasons.
Is it just me, or have stocks and shares become shocks and scares?
I know it's not everyone's idea of fun, so let's see if there's a ride you're more comfortable with.
AXA Investments. Whatever your investment needs. AXA. Be life confident.
Now with 3 years 0% finance. New Astra. Go drive.
Run my soul, I won't underestimate.
Lost Soul, the new fragrance for men.
Downtown today, temperatures are going to soar into the hundreds.
Coors, epic refreshment.
In parts of Yorkshire, custom says that it's good luck to take a horse through your house before you move in. At HSBC, we understand the importance of having the right place. That's why our mortgage with no booking fee saves you £399 with a low rate fixed until the end of August. Move to a great mortgage with HSBC.
Prem Plus, a great way to watch the most exciting league in the world.
It just gets better and better.
Tomorrow, a Prem Plus double in association with Bet365.
How about that?
At 12:30, Crystal Palace take on Bolton. Then at 5, Aston Villa.
Oh, brilliant!
Face Arsenal.
Backhand!
Sky Sports subscribers can order either of these games for just £6. See channel 433 or call 08705 160 160.
It's Leeds Rhinos against the Canterbury Bulldogs in the 2005 World Club Challenge. We're live at Elland Road. And the Rhinos tonight hoping to maintain the British winning sequence in this traditional now pre-season opener. Super League clubs have won 3 of the last 4 World Club Challenges. And Barry McDermott, by the looks of things, is winding up the troops in readiness for the challenge that they face. Training this week has had all the intensity of grand final week last October, according to young fullback Richie Mathers. But the Canterbury Bulldogs will provide formidable opposition. They began 2004 in turmoil with events off the field, but they did the business in the NRL to win their first premiership since 1995. Let's take a quick check on the way the two sides line up this evening. Richard Mathers is the fullback. Then it goes Mark Calderwood, Chev Walker, Keith Senior and Marcus Bye. Kevin Sinfield begins the season at standoff, the captain, and Danny Maguire is the scrum half. And the forwards, Ryan Bailey, Andrew Duneman for the injured Matt Diskin, he's the hooker. Danny Ward, Jamie Jones, Buchanan and Chris McKenna in the second row. And the new boy in town, Gareth Ellis, their major off-season signing, he is the loose forward. And on the bench, it's Rob Burrow, Barry McDermott, Ali Lauatiti and Willie Poaching, and the coach is Tony Smith. Almost a grand final lineup for the Rhinos. Not so for the Bulldogs, this is the way they go. It's Luke Patton at fullback, then Hazem El Masri, Lolesi, Tonga and Cutler, the three quarters. Anasta and Hughes is the halfback. Then up front it's Amit, Perry and Asatazi, Matua and Sonny Bill Williams. Tony Grimaldi is the loose forward and captain. And on the bench it is Oliver Shilowski, Miles and Bridson, and the coach is Steve Folkes. So Tony Grimaldi, he will need no introduction to British viewers. Remember, he had years in Super League with Gateshead and Hull, and he also played in the 1998 grand final defeat for the Bulldogs, then came over here to the UK to ply his trade. But many of these players, they're almost on trial themselves, because Steve Folkes will be taking a long, hard look at them with 2005 in mind. But Kevin Sinfield, the Leeds captain, the leading goal kicker and point scorer in 2004, leads the Rhinos out. And this is the moment for them to join the list of winners from Great Britain that includes Wigan 3 times, Widnes, St Helens and Bradford, who have won this occasion twice. Leeds and Canterbury for the right to be the champions of the world. Well, up here in the commentary box, first time we'll hear from them this season, Steve-O and Phil Clark. Steve-O, we were so disappointed last time we were here. Tonight's the night.
Certainly is, Eddie, and I just wonder maybe whether Tony Smith has had to keep the players extremely calm, because I thought that Great Britain, the occasion got to them against the Australians last year, and I'm sure that this Leeds outfit, after 31 years without silverware and winning the championship, they want to add this trophy tonight, but it won't be easy. This mob, the Canterbury Bulldogs, have been classified as the underdogs. They are the dogs tonight, but they have got quality all the way through.
Fantastic crowd, and the match referee is Sean Hampstead, 38 years of age, 2 State of Origins last year, and the New Zealand-Australia International in April. It's going to be an Australian official this year, it'll be a British official next year for the World Club Challenge, in an arrangement between the two governing bodies. Mr Hampstead was the Rugby League's choice. Braith and Astor gets the game underway, and immediately the ball goes through the arms of Chev Walker and finds its way to touch over on that far side. Phil Clark, an awful start.
The worst possible start for the Leeds Rhinos. In fact, I can't imagine they would have dreamt of a worse beginning to the match there. That kick there, Chev Walker just perhaps infield, a bit too much. The ball goes over his head, and he'll be disappointed now to gift a great attacking opportunity to the Bulldogs.
And here they come. They are in possession of the Canterbury Bulldogs. It's good tackling there by Keith Senior, and that was Patton from dummy half, and immediately the Rhinos are having to work very, very hard in defence. That is Perry, and they're attacking this line. It's shades of the Tri-Nations final, this, when Australia, the national side, came at Great Britain from the very first. And here is Sonny Bill Williams, a brilliant offload, and that's the prop forward Ahmed, who is held up just short.
Super play by Williams. All class is this youngster.
Corey Hughes spreads it to Patton. It goes further wide to Grimaldi. Back on the inside, and a good hit there by Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Well, the Bulldogs realise they have to score early, and that is a big mistake.
Knock on by Matua. He was rattled by the strength of the hit.
I think Chev Walker would want to go around and pat all of his teammates on the back. A huge embarrassment to begin the match.
Matua drops the ball. He won the grand final in his debut year last season, and now Leeds will try and do something, but great defence. And Ellis having a struggle to play the ball, but does so.
That was a big let-off though for Leeds, and they know it. The coach Tony Smith would have been a little bit upset by the fact that Chev Walker, Phil Clark mentioned, should have been on the whitewash right on the edge of the line. He wasn't, he was in field.
Andrew Duneman looking for a big game against the Bulldogs tonight. He really was one of the young stars of the game down under. Lost his way a little bit, but has very much found his way in the British game, and most certainly at the Leeds Rhinos, as Maguire gets to his feet, plays the ball on the last tackle. Sinfield hoists the ball high, and this is a great chase by Leeds. The ball allowed to bounce is flicked back by Walker, and Marcus Bai hacks the ball forward and will chase it himself. Luke Patton is there, and Calderwood it is. Calderwood with the kick ahead, not Marcus Bai, my apologies.
Good work by Calderwood there. It wasn't the best pass, but interesting to note that the tactics that were so successful for Brian Noble and the Bradford Bulls last year against the Penrith Panthers, which was the high kick, it really confused the Australians. It's obvious Tony Smith wants the same tactics tonight.
Kicking early in the tackle count there, Braith and Astor. Collected by Richard Mathers. Now, was that a knock-on? The ball seemed to go forward. Referee says no, because he was facing his own line.
Again, a little bit of fortune just going their way. That looked to knock on for mine from the full-back.
He was facing his own line, so that's the reason he got away with it. And here now is Duneman, and he tips the ball inside to McKenna. Strong hit on McKenna by Rennie Matua.
Good defence by Canterbury. They're coming in very sharp, just off the fringe of the play of the ball. They're trying to squeeze Leeds in the centre of the pitch.
And this is Danny Maguire, little drop
Oh,
with the
that's
shoulder.
a high one. Should have been penalised for that. He didn't miss. And they're into it. In back play, they are swinging like you wouldn't want to believe. That was a high shot. He should have got the penalty. And they were all into it.
I think you'll find it was Chev Walker and Jamal Alisi, two opposing centres, but you can see both sides refusing to be intimidated. They want to get on top of their opponents.
But it's things like this that really does upset the team and the players and the fans. The referee was in a good position.
But Alisi tackles Walker without the ball, look, picks him up, dumps him onto the ground. We can see just there at the front of the camera. It's Jamie Jones Buchanan rather, I apologise to Chev Walker.
But really, Corey Hughes, the halfback from the Bulldogs, he should have been picked up. Sean Hampstead, the official.
He's got a report from his touch judge, and they have given Leeds the penalty for the high shot on Maguire. Here comes Bailey, 10 metres inside the Bulldogs' half of the field. And messing around, penalty to Leeds.
Well, a little shock was Tony Grimaldi, but there was little doubt in anybody's mind. It's a ploy that most teams utilise. They try to turn the ball carrier onto their back, make it slow for them to play the ball. Tony Smith, though, knows that this is the first real opportunity of this game to put points on the board.
And here come the Rhinos. Quick play, the ball there by Sinfield to Duneman, a drive in from Ward. Takes 3 to bring him down, they're 11 metres short. Duneman, he finds Gareth Ellis, great ball to Maguire. It's opened up wide. This is the first try for Chev Walker. Referee hasn't given it yet. I saw there wasn't a play taking it, did he? Well, I don't want to get something in bad play, but the match that started almost disastrously for Walker has suddenly become goal.
Beautiful play. Watch the dummy runners come through. And Maguire is running around on the loop. He wants to see whether there's any interference. This could be turned down. Or did the man commit himself? Now, the video referee has to make sure that the man could not have got to Maguire. I don't think so.
I don't think he made any effort. He committed himself to take Jones Buchanan. This is a certain try.
And the try is given by the video referee. And Chev Walker, having begun the match with a fumble that gave Canterbury the pressure inside the Leeds Rhinos half, is on the end of the move that produces the first try. Leeds are ahead by 4 points to 0.
Super play by Leeds. Good build-up. Watch the dummy runner. Maguire takes it on the angle. Look how he sucked in the centre. At least he had nothing to do. Back on the inside. The weight of Walker. This is superb rugby league football.
Steve, I think you've got to give a lot of credit to the Leeds players who were actually on the right-hand side of the play of the ball, who held up so many of the Bulldogs defenders. The full width of the pitch really had enabled them to get that try. Canterbury's defence too spread.
Well, there's the leading Super League goal kicker last year, Kevin Sinfield, adding the extras, and the Rhinos are ahead by 6 points to 0.
Well, full credit to the officials, because a little bit of an outbreak of throwing punches. Corey Hughes finally got penalised for it. And it's great, even at the start of the season, Eddie, to see how the referee and the touch judges are combining.
Well, Sean Hampstead won't be in the Super League. He'll be playing his trade in the NRL, but we will see how things pan out during the Super League season between touch judges and referees. I'm sure that they're going to be on top of their game.
You know, this is an interesting feature. Last year, Leeds were the best side in this country, being able to advance the ball, but look here, gets maybe a slightly stronger defence, finding it that bit tougher to clear their own line.
Ryan Bailey played the ball, and here goes Danny Ward. Great defence though on show from Canterbury. A good scampering little run from Duneman. He finds Sinfield, who's immediately tackled by Anasta and Willie Tonga.
Oh, the knee went in there. That's a toss. He went right into him with the knees. This is getting a little bit tasty.
Oh, but the ball picked up by Hazem El Masri on the bounce. It looked for a moment as though Keith Senior was going to pick it up, but it was Hazem El Masri who reacted to the bounce better, but good defence from Leeds.
Not a bad kick either as well, a good option from the Rhinos.
Matua now for the Bulldogs. wrestle to the ground. Bailey was there. So too Danny Ward, just over the halfway line. This is Corey Hughes.
Big advantage by the Australian side, of course. They'll want to get up and play the ball rather quickly.
Asatazi plays it. Here now is Anasta. He spreads it wide. A brilliant offload once again. What a talent Williams is. Luke Patton scampers in to dummy half. Anasta in field. Hughes, Grimaldi. Grimaldi has to take the tackle in front of the sticks. That's the last. Adam Perry was the dummy half. Spreads it wide. The ball goes behind the attacking players and Leeds pounce on the loose ball.
Good refereeing there by Hampstead. That rule whereby you commit yourself to the tackle, it looked as though it could have been classified as a knock-on, which it would have been a few years ago. Well, you see there Senior, but was going into the tackle. Expect a big game from the centre, Keith Senior.
Ward again, up the middle.
Look a lot more lively to the Rhinos. They really are up for this. Good start, 6-0.
And a big kick downfield from Sinfield. It's looking for the 40-20. Oh, Calderwood gets away from the fullback and scores for the Rhinos. A hopeful kick, a speculative kick from Sinfield. Luke Patton couldn't deal with it. Calderwood got speed to burn, and he just flicked the ball around the fullback. Touches down behind the post. 10-0 to lead.
Well, he only played in half of the game for the Leeds Rhinos last season. If he plays in every game for them this season, I'm pretty certain he could be the top try scorer at the end of the year. His natural pace alone will help him, but the enthusiasm that he brings to a game of rugby league always gives him a chance, and his teammates. Look at that, the willingness to chase what many would think a lost cause. He's turned it to his advantage, and he's converted it into a try right under the post.
Well, you say it was a speculative kick, Eddie. It wasn't, as far as I'm concerned. It was a very good kick to turn around the full-back. Okay, he's come up with a bad error. And this man can poach them from all over the place. And the crowd here have gone absolutely bananas. The Rhinos are showing the form that picked up the championship last year.
Amazingly, Mark Calderwood began this match on the other side of the field. Marcus Bai and Calderwood have now switched wings. I wonder whether Tony Smith has picked something up very early in the piece. Sinfield adds the extras, and the Rhinos have a 12-0 lead.
Well, I must say, the winger Azim Al-Masri is not the best defender in the world of rugby league.
Mark Calderwood, terrific pace. Figured in only 17 last year, but still managed 11 tries. Braith and Asta with the kick-off. Deep kick-off they are too, all the time. Here comes Jamie Jones-Buchanan again.
The point I'm making there, Eddie, is the fact that I think that Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, quite happy that Marcus Bai, probably the strongest and the toughest of the two wingers. Calderwood's got the speed, yes, but I think he wants Bai to really put Masri under a lot of pressure tonight.
Well, he will, because Marcus Bai won the World Club Championship with Melbourne in 2000. They beat St Helens by 44 points to 6. He'd be the first man to win it with an Australian and a British club. So he will be delighted if things stay like this. And the way that Leeds are playing, the Headingley supporters will be delighted with the early season form they're showing.
Rather surprising, the Bulldogs. They're very slow getting their line of defence. They're taking 2 or 3 steps forward. Here's another bomb!
And it's flicked back, but picked up by the second rower, Rennie Matua. Well, Brian Noble is watching with Ian Millward in the studio. What a start for the Rhinos, Brian.
Brilliant start for the Rhinos, and I think somebody at Canterbury hasn't done the homework on Mark Calderwood. He was out of the traps faster than anybody else, and you just haven't got time with that kid. You've got to look first and then make your play second. As for the high bomb as well, there's never been a kick too high, has there? And Leeds are chasing everything with the enthusiasm you'd expect.
Here come the Bulldogs though, and this is Willie Tonga.
Did well in the centre there. Started with the Australians last year, of course, but knew that he was sliding towards a whitewash.
Here is Luke Patton, who will look now to try and redeem himself, and that's a good ball. And even better, wide it went from Matua. And this now is Grimaldi, and he flicks the ball away and back to Matua once again. Leeds scrambling to try and keep the Bulldogs out. And great scrambling defence too to bring Luke Patton down.
It had to be as well, but Marcus Bai came up with a very crucial tackle.
And here is Sonny Bill Williams, and he's short.
He's lost it. It'll be a knock-on. He'll play the scrum, will the official Hampstead.
Just short of the line.
Took the odds against it, didn't he? Ellis went right into the mush. Didn't miss either. What a talent this kid is.
Well, we saw him in the Tri-Nations, didn't we? And we were purring about this man's abilities.
He's unbelievable. Look, we're only 12 and
he's 19 years of age, by the way.
I know, 12 and a half minutes into the game, we have seen 4 absolutely superlative passes from this youngster.
So it's Leeds, leading by 12 points to 0. 13 minutes gone. Duneman. Infield it goes to the new boy Ellis. Dumps it back to Duneman again. Duneman trying to get away from Corey Hughes and Tony Grimaldi. Can't do. Mathers now, the fullback. Dummy half. McKenna will drive the ball forward. He lost the 1994 World Club Challenge with Brisbane against Wigan. There's another high kick. A high hanging kick, but it's gobbled up by Trent Cutler. Let's hear from Ian Millward in the studio.
Yeah, Eddie, it's very obvious the scrambling defence of Leeds, which won them the premiership last year, is here for everyone to see. What people got to realise back at home is that the noise here is deafening, and for a young team who experienced this for the first time, the Canterbury team from Australia, it is hard to cope with. Plus, this being their first game of the year and new faces together, you can see why a little bit earlier the emotions got to them.
Roy Asatazi takes that tackle midway inside the Leeds Rhinos half of the field. Little fumble there from Adam Perry perhaps. No, here is Williams again, looking to offload all the time and does brilliantly. And this is Perry once more, the hooker. Now then, Corey Hughes and Anasta with the kick out wide, looking to take on Marcus Bai in the air. And Marcus Bai does brilliantly well and turns defence into attack. Great ball inside, Mathers.
Superb play. Plucked it out of the air under a lot of pressure.
Azam El Masri was hunting the try then. Here is Senior to halfway for Leeds. Duneman. Ellis gets them over halfway, the Rhinos.
Leeds have to look for coming back on the different angle, because the defence from Canterbury, when it looks as though they're going to the open, the defensive side on the blind side is not moving up. Injury to one of the Canterbury players. He caught a good one.
Barry McDermott's on, you might have noticed him with that drive. Here now is Jamie Jones Buchanan again. Duneman, quick play the ball by Leeds. It's with Maguire, looking to kick, and he does out wide. Looking for Walker. Oh, and the ball bounced kindly, and Willie Tonga picked it up for the Bulldogs.
I think you might get to see over the next 5-10 minutes maybe the difference between these two sides. If anything, I guess that maybe Tony Smith picked his most dangerous players on his bench before he actually picked his starting 13. And in Alalawa Titi, Barry McDermott and Willie Porching, they're dynamic guys. When they come onto the field, expect them to have a big impact.
And the big thing, Phil, also is the fact that the inexperience on Canterbury's bench as against those that you've just mentioned.
Yes, there's a 19-year-old, 2 21-year-olds and a 23-year-old on the bench for Canterbury. First grade debut for one of them. And only substitute appearances in the main for the rest. And a former Brisbane Bronco in the shape of Ben Shalowski. Kick downfield just trundled its way over the dead ball line. And Liam Millward was talking in the pre-match build-up to this about the temperature out there. This will shock the Australians as they come from the heat of high summer.
Eddie,
and they're blowing for tugs.
If you run around at that pace for 16 minutes, you don't feel that cold.
No, but what he was saying was the cold air is a bit of a shock to their system.
I think the biggest shock is the fact that Leeds have scored 2 very, very good tries. Okay, one was from a big mistake by the fullback Patton, but I can see already that the throwing punches in the background, that gives me some indication already. 16 and a half minutes gone, and here we are, they're trying to slow the game down already.
That's a great ball from Duneman to keep Senior, and Senior escapes one. He can't get away from Patton. Patton all over him, trying to slow him down.
Slow to get back, look at the Canterbury players. Kick to the corner, it's got to be on again.
And that was diffused in goal by the wingman, Trent Cutler. Ball in the field of play.
Always gives himself a chance though, Mark Calderwood. He'll chase whatever you kick.
Tony Smith, 12 months ago he was just starting out as Leeds coach. They won 24 of 28 weekly rounds and he claimed their first league title for 32 years. He could have the freedom of this city if he wanted it.
Well, he's certainly eager to get the silverware. He's tried to play it down amongst the team as well. He's told the fans, of course, it would be absolutely wonderful if we could lift that trophy tonight, but he knows that a lot of teams are going to try to just bring them down a peg, and I think that the way they've started has been very, very good. Solid, and I just can't get the feeling that the Bulldogs are going to get back into the game, but they could now.
They could here with Tonga. Great tackle from Mathers. He is developing into one of the best fullbacks in the competition here. This is Corey Hughes, turns it back to Sonny Bill Williams, stabs the ball forward. Was he taken out? Yes, he was. Mathers took him out. He stabbed the ball into the in-goal area and Mathers hit him late. Penalty to Canterbury.
What wonderful enthusiasm from this guy. He was the fella that just sent the centre right the way through. Beautiful pass yet again. Then he can do the individual work.
Not interested in the 2-0, but Grimaldi offloads the ball to Patton. It goes wide and further wide, and this is a chance here for the Bulldogs. They're in with Hazem El Masri. The referee hasn't given it in. He's just going to check the grounding, I think, with the video referee. But Hazem El Masri has scored for my money.
Yeah, no problem with this at all. That's TRY time. And that was all brought about by a beautiful offload by the man himself, Sonny Bill Williams. He got the penalty, individual stuff. No doubt about it.
When he gets the ball, what's amazing though is the bit of quick footwork. I went to watch Canterbury train on Tuesday and they spent half an hour doing the footwork drills early on. It's paid off for Azil Ramirez-Razri with the first try.
There's Hazem El Masri against the first Canterbury Bulldogs try. They're back in the match, courtesy of this wonderful winger. A try and 2 goals in the 16-13 grand final success against the Roosters. Hazem El Masri.
This was a pass, sent him right the way through. Willie Tonga did well, but look at the enthusiasm. The second rower, Bill Williams, he's got himself there. Knew there was a cul-de-sac, certainly got taken out by Richie Mathers. And from this quick tap, it was good play. They called him on the hop. Offloaded well, did Grimaldi. He took it well, this winger. The best attempt by Marcus Spy will not please his coach, Tony Smith. But they're back. They're back with a vengeance.
They are, and Hazem El Masri was kicking goals all across the 20-metre line up the other end in their pre-match warm-up. This is one of the best goal kickers in the world, this fellow. And that is the reason why. Hazem El Masri, 6 points for Canterbury. Leeds still ahead though.
It's living proof, isn't it, that you don't need to be as big as Leslie Van the goal to be a good winger these days. Maximises the attributes he has, and that is exceptional footwork. I mean, we've criticised Marcus Spy for missing this tackle on him, but just the quickest little dummy of his footwork and the shimmy back inside sits Marcus Spy down virtually, and look, there you go. Gets enough, gets the ball down.
Game on at Elland Road then, midway through this first half. Leeds still ahead. Shilowski comes on, Armit goes off. Shilowski makes his official debut for the Bulldogs tonight, joining them from the Brisbane Broncos. 21 years of age, number 15 on his back. And here is that man, Sonny Bill Williams.
Got to keep a good eye on him, and obviously Kevin Sinfield is going to do that job. It's not going to be easy.
Willie Tonga, tackled by Sinfield and Walker. Corey Hughes, back to Anasta. There's the kick. It drifts over the top on the last. And Bailey and the prop forward Asatazi tangling in back play.
Oh, what a tackle. Oh, Steve Folkes would have liked that.
Marcus Spy feeds the ball wide to Keith Senior.
So important that Canterbury did come up with the score. As we mentioned before, 4 or 5 players, when Leeds had the football, they were very, very slow to get back.
Well, considering this is the first match since the grand final on October the 3rd against the Sydney Roosters.
They were always going to be risky. We knew that.
Well, I was just about to say, it's not being played at a bad pace by the Bulldogs, this. Great offload by McDermott to Maguire, who makes the break up the middle. He's got Marcus Pai in support. He takes them on. Oh, magnificent.
He'll go to the screen.
Danny Maguire. Absolutely magnificent.
He had to go to the screen. He used the dummy back on the inside. I'm not so sure that was a perfect move to do.
I hope he goes to the screen 100 times, Steve. Oh, this is fantastic.
Has he got it down before he hits the post? That's tried out. Oh,
look at the legs. Look at the legs.
It's the tackler. It's not his. Danny Maguire is absolutely superb at that. He took the odds, took the gamble, threw the dummy. This is a try, little doubt in my mind.
And it's a try right out of the top drawer.
For our viewers in Australia, this is one of the reasons why Leeds won the competition last year. They offloaded the ball more than any other side in the league, and it's the offload from McDermott to Maguire that creates this opportunity. He's turned it into a wonderful try.
And the Australian viewers who joined us for the Tri-Nation Series last autumn see Danny Maguire at his imperious best in that one try that he scored here for the Rhinos.
Good work by the big front forward, McDermott. Offloaded through, but look at the skills here. Now watch for the inside runner. Here he comes, Marcus Pai. But sheer speed and skill, he enjoyed that. Probably just as much as the try that he scored in the grand final. Look at the dummy, that's confidence. El Masri did not know where he was going, but I did and they did. TRY, what a sensational effort.
Fantastic. The pass inside to Marcus Pai might have produced an easier conversion attempt for Kevin Sinfield, but let us take nothing away from young Danny Maguire for that. Pass fit, a groin injury against London last week, and he's picked up in 2005 where he left off last year. Sinfield with this kick. Can he do a Hazim El Masri? No. Just shy of the post. 16-6 though is the lead.
Tremendous speed, hasn't he, Danny Maguire? Interested to see how they're utilising the skipper as well, Kevin Sinfield. Normally he takes the first receiver, but he's been utilised. Another man out, just inside the two centres.
So Braithen Astor gets us underway again. Another big deep kick-off to the Leeds line. Barry McDermott. Oh, and Grimaldi is flattened by that. And wisely the referee just stops play.
He's done the right thing. Check him out first.
Wow, you need a medal for referee to go into that, Steve-O.
Do you ever?
Back at full speed.
Oh. That was the Marrakesh Express. And everybody was riding other than this guy. Well, let's hope he's okay. It's certainly, I don't know whether the head sort of just whiplashed into the ground. That's an injury that you've got to be very, very careful of. But look at the power.
Well, it's no wonder, by the way, that Grimaldi is the first man into this tackle, because last year he made 829 tackles in the NRL. He was Canterbury's top tackler.
He's a workhorse, we know that. We saw him when he was over here in England. He really does work hard, but full credit to him was the fact that Grimaldi got the tackle right. He made sure that his head was on the side of the body. It would have been right into the chest of the big fella. Boy, anything could have happened.
Rob Burrow comes on for one of the big men, Ryan Bailey, and there he is, first touch from dummy half, little Rob Burrow.
And that's a great move yet again. We saw all last season, didn't we? Tony Smith rings on, beep beep, so close to the ground. A few of these Canterbury players, they're going pretty high, and he's got the speed to scoot underneath.
Sinfield drifts the kick over the top. Cutler is after it. Calderwood and Walker are hunting as well, but the ball beats them all.
Not a bad effort either. You could see that there was an automatic backspin on that football.
One of the things we can say about Canterbury, you know, they are the 6th different club to win the Premiership in Australia in the past 6 years. That is an indication really of the strength and depth of the Australian competition.
Oh, they certainly have. They've got plenty out there, plenty of quality. You know, a lot of people sort of saying, well, there's about half a dozen unknowns that came with the Bulldogs on this particular trip. But they're full quality, and if you've got this guy on your side, Sonny Bill Williams,
just been picked there for a forward pass.
Not happy, Steve Folks.
It was a marginal decision. This.
Oh, that looked all right for me.
Looked all right for Steve Folks as well.
Look at that.
Just keep yourself straight, boys.
Okay.
Remember the pass that was a Keith Senior in an international year before last, got one away off the deck like that to produce a try for somebody. Ian Proctor will tell us in a moment.
Put your head down and go down. Put your arm over and go down.
It was a very similar pass right on the Australian try line, if I remember, in the Ashes series. Everyone's shaking their heads. Don't tell me I've foxed somebody. Probably foxed myself. Oh, the ball round the corner from Ellis. Straight into the arms of Hazem El Masri.
Just tried to do a little bit too much there, did Ellis. He's finding it difficult to get back into the pattern because it's not easy when you come from another club. Trying to fit into the Leeds style.
Here is Lolesi.
I think if Tony Smith will be unhappy about one aspect of his team's play, it'll be where on the field they've given the ball to the Bulldogs. Too often maybe they've been turning it over on the half rail, but they've come up with a good tackle there by Poaching.
That was a terrific tackle by Willie Poaching.
Not only that, look how quick Kevin Sinfield sees the loose ball. And he's another one. We've mentioned, Phil, earlier in the fact that, you know, Leeds with that 4 quality players on the bench, it's just going to wear them down. We've already seen it from McDermott, now we're seeing it from Willie Poaching.
Tony Smith was confident in the pre-match build-up to this. If his men could win the collision, that they would triumph in this World Club Challenge. So far, they are winning the collision. So far. Maguire drifts the kick behind the defence, looking for Calderwood. It was a nasty bounce, but Patton read it well.
Again, great tactics by Leeds. They shift the ball over to one side, then they utilise it, make sure it's kicked right into the corner. Obviously feel that Trent Cutler has a bit of a problem in that department.
Still good meters that both of those players have made there in Williams and Masri. Both occasions, all the players there are making good 10 metres, and maybe if Leeds were to tie in another area, that would be the speed of the goal forward to prevent Canterbury clearing the line just so quickly.
Right, and Astor with the big kick downfield, and Calderwood is just trotting after this. He'll pick it up near his own try line. Tries to go outside, Cutler couldn't do. Plays the ball to Burrow. Here's Walker.
Good work by the centre as well. Realise that the forwards a little bit slow to just hit back and sort themselves out. It was nice to see the 3 quarters do that. Oh, that's an awful pass, but they got away with it. Interfering. The man trying to play the ball.
Nate Miles on his first grade debut. Penalty to Leeds. Sinfield dumps the ball into touch. 5 pre-season matches behind them, plus a much publicised training session with the England Rugby Union squad. They are taking this seriously, the Rhinos. That was high on Poaching from Anasta.
Certainly was, went to it, that's come loose.
Went backwards, says the referee.
Nice step forward, Danny Ward.
And Burrow scampers away again.
All the way, dogs, come on.
Oh, there's got to be a penalty. It's all over the little halfback.
Sinfield and wide to Maguire. No way through this time.
All the way, dogs, come on.
And Steve Folks, the Canterbury coach, obviously got the message out. Look, when Maguire has got the football, don't commit yourself because he's got the speed. Just hang back and let's just see what he's about to do.
That was Lauatiti who played the ball. This is Gareth Ellis. And he offloads brilliantly, but the ball runs loose. Duneman picks up the pieces, and Leeds will come again. That's the last tackle, though. And here is Sinfield. Floats it wide to Mathers. Calderwood wanted it. Well, Was Mathers being held off that ball? No, he wasn't. And Willie Tonga has it back for the Bulldogs. Here is Cutler. A couple of interested spectators there. It's Paul Sculthorpe.
Pretty solid defence though by the Rhinos at the moment. They're going up as one unit, as you can see there. They're forcing the Bulldogs into virtually one-out football.
Adam Perry with the ball for the Bulldogs on the halfway line. And here is Anasta. And Patton, dummy half. Gets the ball in field, another offload, but a good hit by Lauatiti. They've gone backwards. Corey Hughes, though, finds Masri. And Masri dabs the ball up field, but straight into the arms of Richie Mathers.
That was a poor kick. It was rushed. Real thought behind it.
I think what you saw, though, was the fact that Canterbury do have some patience there. They're not looking to score every time they're in possession. Trying to get the work the way upfield, and maybe with a bit of field position, and then with the ball in the hands like Sonny Bill Williams, they know they're going to have the players who can create the tries. Just need that patience to get back in the game.
And of course Canterbury, well known in the grand final, they were down by a similar score, came back and they won it.
It's Burrow. He finds Walker looking for quick hands. He eventually got it away to Calderwood, and Calderwood with a kick over the top looking for Poaching. It bounces kindly. Poaching touches down. Is he onside? Is he offside? No need to revert to the video referee. The try is given. Willie Poaching, and the try created by a beautiful offload and a lovely little chip over the top from Mark Calderwood.
Well, you summarised it, didn't you, there, Eddie? Created by skill. The handling skill first, and then the great little kicking skill that Mark Calderwood showed.
Sheer quality. We mentioned the fact that Leeds put that strength on the bench, and great work by the centre Walker here. But none more so than this. Look who's trailing through. That is a great effort. He's turned the game around so many times for Leeds last year as Willie Poaching. And Calderwood is making a real name for himself. No one at home, cover defence. Poaching said, I'll take it. They're running riot. He's happy.
Willie Poaching, the Western Samoan, 12 tries last year, and 23 of his 29 appearances came off the bench. Now then, this is Kevin Sinfield with the opportunity to notch his third conversion of the night. He's just pulled it in front of the posts. 20 points to 6. Leeds Rhinos ahead. Let's go down to Brian Noble, Bradford Bulls coach, of course, Great Britain coach. It's going according to plan, Brian.
Oh, they'll be loving it in Leeds. A full house, a full stadium, and they're on the way to being the world champions. Canterbury are looking a little bit tired, Eddie, I think, and it's been to take his toll. The kicking game's been smart from Leeds. Their chase has been awesome, that's brought them the points. And I suppose the question, if this keeps going the way it's going, is who's going to beat Leeds?
Well, that's what they said about Bradford Bulls last year. And who is going to beat Leeds? Well, Ian Milward, what about the Saints?
I think there's about 200 and something players. I was going to say 20. I hope there's more than 20 players in Super League think they can beat them. But, it's interesting. Offloads in the game and breaks have probably been about equal, but their conversion rate to success has been much greater. Brian hit it on the head. Their kicking game's been much more outstanding, and they look good and can only get better for them because this is Canterbury's first run. I think they're going to get tired, but I can hear that Rhino. Bring on the Rhinos. I can hear it coming, Brian. Bring on the Rhinos.
Well, we're just looking at the record books up here, and we think that every time Bradford Bulls won the World Club Championship, they were beaten the week after. Ooh. Brian Noble will probably bristle about that, and will put us right at half-time. It's the Bulldogs now who are attacking that Leeds line. Now Leeds will want to hold out with this 14-point advantage up to the break. This is Corey Hughes. Oh, Willie Poaching missed him. Gets the ball away. It's Willie Tonga. And Leeds must bring up in defence to bring him back.
Well, Poaching should have been
it's a penalty. He's penalised here.
He's already called hell. Maguire continued on with it.
Another set of 6 then. Corey Hughes.
Well, you can see Hughes straightening up, stepping back on the inside, but there's no support play.
Here is Sonny Bill.
Don't let him up now, don't work him.
Waiting at dummy half is a substitute, Brett Oliver. He gets it away to Grimaldi, fully recovered from that big hit. That's the full-back, and he gets it in field, and Grimaldi once again. Brilliant hands then from Molessi, but great defence from Leeds. They are up for this. Here comes another of the substitutes, Bryson. Leeds doing really well though. Corey Hughes, a drive in from Shilovsky. Stands and gets the ball away, bounces off the feet, goes backwards. Calderwood is hunting Sonny Bill Williams. First mistake from the young man. It's on the last, they've lost the momentum. And it's with Patton, who drifts the kick over the top. Marcus Pye will claim that. And Marcus Pye will launch the next Leeds attack. That is until Matua gets to him.
Well, he's got to be penalised shortly, but Hampstead said, oh, it was only a knock, get on with it.
The ball's come free, play on, Sinfield has it. And Sinfield offloads. Mathers.
Good play the ball, that's what's needed. But they're holding them down, getting away with it as well as the Bulldogs.
Here's Lauatiti. We talk about the offloading skills of Sonny Bill Williams. Tony Smith knows, and we all know in Super League, the handling skills of Lauatiti after last year. Sinfield, oh, that ball knocked backwards. Sonny Bill Williams, the man first to react.
Knock on here.
Take the first knock on.
It went backwards from Leeds, we're a knock on against the Dogs.
Knock on against Canterbury, says Sean Hampstead.
Is he deliberately going for the football, and that very difficult for an official to decide with that new rule in regards to has he committed himself into the tackle or has he deliberately gone for the football. On occasion in the middle with the whistle said that it was Canterbury that infringed.
What's in, second rows in?
It really is desperation now. The Bulldogs cannot afford to concede a try just before half time.
3 minutes to go. Leeds ahead by 20 points to 6. In charge of the match, in charge of the ball here with Walker.
Let him go now.
Calderwood, infield to Maguire, poaching. Over the halfway line. Strong defence from the Bulldogs. Duneman. Ward.
Come on, Dogs, come on.
Duneman again. Misses out Burrow, finds Sinfield, he finds Lauatiti, great hands, and again Maguire, and again Mathers. Wide it goes to Ellis, here is Senior, now Marcus Pye! Dumps it down to Burrow! Leeds score, right on the stroke of half time. Brilliant try, brilliant Leeds Rhinos try. Mesmeric handling skills. And Burrow, right behind the sticks.
Fantastic teamwork, working hard off the football. That is the key to success. See how they missed the first man out, Sinfield, and the wonderful offload there, Lauatiti. But look at the guys, they're searching for it. Come back on the inside, what an offload. They're queuing up, and beep. Goes in, Mr. Burrow is enjoying it. Look at that offload there.
It's very hard to defend against because once the first offload goes in, you're chasing your tail basically along the time, and although Canterbury work hard, they're never going to stop that try. These could have turned around, gone the other way of the field and still kept offloading and scored.
Rob Burrow with the try. Former Young Player of the Year in 2001. Sinfield adds the extras. Just what the doctor ordered for Leeds Rhinos up to half-time. They lead by 26 points to 6.
And you also have to give a lot of praise to the coach Tony Smith, the way that he's utilised his people from the bench, tries to give certain people a rest. Remember Barry McDermott did the damage on Grimaldi. A couple of minutes later he brings them off. Smart coach.
The Bulldogs restart. We're in the last minute of the first half. Whoa! And Willie Poaching manages to get back into the field of play, then he is hauled down by the chasers. Just a momentary lapse in concentration from the big fella. This is Walker. The half started so badly for him. Then he scored the try, and from that moment, really, Leeds' confidence grew. Last seconds of the first half. What a first half it's been for the Rhinos. The Super League champions are ahead by 26 points to 6. Almost a full house here at Elland Road, and they have enjoyed every minute of what they have seen. They led 6-0, that went to 12-0. Hazem El Masri threatened a comeback, but then Leeds, they scored 3 tries in the last 17 minutes of the first half, and the Leeds players go off to a standing ovation from their supporters. This is the try of the first 40, Danny Maguire's effort. The Rhinos are ahead, 26 points to 6.
Super Bowl 39, New England versus Philadelphia, sponsored by Coors, Sunday 10 p.m. Sky Sports 1.
In parts of Yorkshire, custom says that it's good luck to take a horse through your house before you move in. At HSBC, we understand the importance of having the right place. That's why our mortgage with no booking fee saves you £399 with a low rate fixed until the end of August. Move to a great mortgage with HSBC.
Let's catch up with those crafty courses! And what sneaky shenanigans are these? Now what's he up to? Oh no, he's painted himself a treacherous tunnel! Flat supper! Flat out for the post! Uh-oh. Really flat out!
You got me. I was sneaking into the country.
Where are you from?
Antigua. So, where are you from?
Hong Kong.
Where are you from?
Hong Kong.
Sailors, smoothly does it.
Check, please.
No, we'll go Dutch.
So what's it like in the Bahamas?
It's all right.
Lots to do?
Not much.
Nice beaches?
Mm.
Water sports?
Yeah, some.
Oh, that's good. Golf?
Not that I saw.
Shopping?
Yeah, a bit.
Nightlife?
Bit quiet, really.
What are the locals like?
Oh, they're nice.
So where are you going this year?
I'm not telling.
For holidays with non-stop flights from Manchester to the Bahamas, call First Choice or visit our website.
New dress, £130. Lipstick, £11. Relaxing bath oils, £9. The look on your ex-boyfriend's face, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, accepted every day for everyday things.
Half-price glasses sale now on at Boots Opticians.
Luckily, courses have free insurance and start from $6,995.
Premiership football coming up for you. Tomorrow we've 2 Prem Plus matches. From 12:30 it's Crystal Palace versus Bolton. Then from 5 Aston Villa take on Arsenal. Digital customers tune to channel 433 or call 08705 160 160. Cable customers contact your local operator. And then on Sunday it's a Super Sunday doubleheader from 2 on Sky Sports 1. Southampton take on Everton, followed by Chelsea against Manchester City. Right now, the Super League is back for 2005 and the Super League leads the NRL of Australia. The Rhinos are ahead of the Bulldogs by 26 points to 6 at half-time. Well, Tony Smith with that chalkboard that he takes with him around the grounds. He's brought it to Elland Road. He will be well pleased with the first 40 minutes. It started shakily when Walker missed the kick-off. But then Chev Walker redeemed himself, covered himself in glory, got the first try. From that moment, really, Leeds never looked back. They came here as underdogs, the Canterbury Bulldogs, and they have competed. Tony Smith said if Leeds won the collision, they could win the world crown. And they have certainly won the collision in the first half. Great stuff from the Leeds Rhinos, the champions of the Super League. Everybody's here in the studio. Brian Noble, Ian Millwood, Phil Clark, Steve-O. We're all down here to chew the cud over the first 40 minutes. As Steve-O would say, Brian, great to be a Pom tonight.
It is great to be a Pom tonight, and they're going to win, and they're going to win handsomely, I think. I think it's just getting a little bit too hard now for Canterbury, and that's not a disrespectful thing to say. The way Leeds are offloading at the moment, the way they're finding the play in the tackle, the way that they're being strong, it's going to take a mammoth effort for the Bulldogs to turn anywhere near this around. So, yeah, I think it's going to be more of Leeds to come.
There are plenty of danger signals, though, in many ways for the Rhinos. If they allow the Bulldogs to get on top, Ian, they could still come back, but 20 points is a lot to make up at this level.
Well, I think the stats prove it straight away. 50% completion rate. So when they've got the ball, they're giving it back 50% of the time. They're not mounting pressure. This is their first game. Their energy levels are going to get sapped quicker and quicker. And even the offloads are both very similar. The difference between the two offloads is Leeds are converting it into clean breaks and points, where Canterbury are probably just lacking that extra support player, that little bit of extra edge needed to win against a very good team.
I think everybody knows that I'm a huge admirer of Danny Maguire and Phil Clark. Tonight, the Australian viewers have seen Maguire at his best.
I think it was worth coming to this game just to see that try alone. It was fantastic, wasn't it? And given the ball in broken field, he's possibly the most dangerous player we have in this country. It was great that it went to him, and he showed us just what he can do, the confidence he has. I mean, there were doubts going into this game that he was going to be fit to play. He disproved those, and it was superb effort in the corner.
A 20-point lead at half-time, Steve-O. It could be anything in the second half, this.
Well, it could be, yes, and I don't think that Canterbury will just fold. They won't throw the towel in. They're pretty strong. I think their tactics early on, they tried to upset Leeds. They went with a couple of high shots, and I think it's full credit to Leeds that they just concentrated on playing the rugby league football that we know they can do. That was a beautiful move. Used a dummy runner, Maguire coming back on the inside, Walker to it. Okay, the second one came from a bit of a mistake, but it was a good kick from Sinfield. If you can turn the fullback around at any game, then you're going to have a chance. It was an awful mistake here, and Calderwood was never, ever going to make a meal of that. And they fully deserved it. It set the tone for that first half, and quite frankly, I just cannot see these Bulldogs getting anywhere near in this game.
Maybe it's just laying a couple of ghosts from November the 27th, Brian. Maybe we can all put that to bed now and just forget about it. It was just a nightmare. That didn't really happen.
Well, if you were buying stocks and shares in Great Britain, you'd have to say we're on the up and up after that competition. It was a great competition. Absolutely. But going back to this game, if we can. As for Steve-O saying, they were trying to upset them with tactics like, well, I think they just pulled to bear with a stick. Because Leeds have answered them the only way they possibly can, by being enthusiastic and being dominant and being thorough. This is a slightly different Australian team we're seeing tonight than we saw back in November, trust me. So full credit to Leeds. They're a good team as well, and you can see that they're really, really up for this, and I just can't see them letting go of the handles of this trophy.
Wouldn't it be great if the Australians came over here the Monday before a Tri-Nations final next year? Can we get that into the scheme of things, do you think?
Well, it's gone, hasn't it? We just got to build, and we're given the task that we're always given, and unfortunately we can't play, Walt Disney and Dream Factory. We've got to go with what we're given. So yeah, that's the task we're given for next year. is the same as it was last year, and we'll be ready for that.
But what a fantastic platform for Super League tonight, Ian. The Leeds Rhinos bossing the game against the best that Australia have got to offer.
Yeah, you know, people are going to say that they've had a better preparation, they haven't had to travel, but the other thing is you've got to execute skill. And their ability to mount pressure has been very good. I've got to say their organisation defence and scrambling defence has been quite outstanding. You know, you don't score 20 points against a team which has a great culture, Canterbury. Yeah, I agree with these guys that early they're probably tactics wrong, but I thought the emotion got to the young kids. It's a lot of noise out there, and I don't think they'd experience this. At the end of the day, they've had chances to score leads, and they've been very good, and I think it's an advocate how good the skill level of the game is over here.
Leeds are ahead by 20 points at half-time. What will it be come the end of the next 40 minutes? Leeds Rhinos and Tony Smith won't want to take their foot off the gas. You can be guaranteed about that. A fantastic performance from them down the corridor in the Bulldogs dressing room. They're just wondering what they can do to halt the flow. Leeds ahead at half-time. They're on the way to being crowned the champions of the world.
Jolie, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, tomorrow at 8 and 9 on Sky Movies.
It's lovely.
27 days a year on regular army pay. Interested? Go to ta.mod.uk for your free TA guide.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty as charged.
This is not a prison. No walls, no bars. It's harder than that.
The challenge to tame single-handedly a wild Mustang.
You let him go, you bring him back.
If I'd known those KFC and mini fillet burgers were only 99p, I'd have asked you to get me one. Sandra, can I have a bite?
With the weekly grand scratch card, you could take home £1,000 every week for a year.
Don't scratch, you can't win.
The National Lottery.
Think lucky.
Good night.
Good morning. The Club World Sleeper Service. Sleep longer. And now earn triple BA miles on all Club World flights.
Tom and Marcia fell in love, had Lola, inherited Sid, and vowed they'd be together forever. So they bought a car with 3 in the front, 3 in the back, Sid in the boot. Marcia says it's like sitting on the park bench. Sid thinks, "Ruff."
Previously on 24. Found the person who stumbled onto our server.
It's a simple job where you pick up the subject and you bring him in.
This isn't the right play.
24, the new series, Sunday at 9 on Sky One.
League is back with you from next Friday. The real business gets underway. We'll preview it all in Boots and All Monday. Sky Sports 2 at 8 o'clock, a special 2-hour programme. And then we will see Leeds again next Friday. Will they be the World Club champions and the Super League champions? They're at Hull. Sky Sports 1 Friday at 7:30 for the season opener. And then Leeds Centurions make the big step into Super League. Huddersfield Giants, the visitors, next Saturday at 6. Sky Sports 1 again. Here at Elland Road, the Leeds Rhinos are ahead 26 points to 6 in the World Club Championship, the World Club Challenge of 2005. They hardly put a foot wrong last year. 14 wins from 14 at Headingley. They ended with 50 points in the Super League, 9 points cleared of the Bradford Bulls, who they then beat 16-8 at Old Trafford in the grand final. And they begin the defence of that Super League title at Hull next Friday night here on Sky Sports. And here come the champions. Fourth time that they were crowned as champions last year. 1961, 1969 and 1972. Runners-up 8 times, including the 1998 inaugural grand final against Wigan. They've won the Challenge Cup on 11 occasions, but this tonight would be the biggest night in their history if they lift this world crown. And they really are rocking.
They sure are, Eddie, and they'll be extremely confident. You could see on the faces of the players as they left the dressing room, they're all smiling and laughing. No smiles from this guy, Steve Folkes. He knows that their ability to try to just close this game down was taking no effect. And as I mentioned at halftime, you've got to give Leeds the credit, is that they ignored the rough stuff. They just concentrated on what we saw last year. Wonderful brand of rugby league football.
Kevin Sinfield gets us underway at the start of this second half. A high hanging kickoff. Leeds 40 minutes away from world glory. Not been in this position before. All right, they took part in the 1997 World Club Championship. In fact, the Bulldogs did the same. They lost home and away matches to Wigan in that competition. And here they are tonight with 7 members of their grand final lineup missing, but still boasting some talent, and Leeds will not take anything for granted.
I think Tony Smith will have emphasised to the Leeds Rhinos not to underestimate this Canterbury side. I know there were indications maybe that some people said they were tiring in the first half, but you can just tell how much team and how much energy a team have by how they chase the kicks, and the one that finished in the first half and the way they've started this second half shows that they've still got plenty of energy left for this game, and I think they'll still fancy the chances if they can get an early or the first score.
20 points, that should be a winning lead, should be.
As we mentioned in that first half, you know, it looked as though that the Roosters had a commanding lead against the Bulldogs. They came back in their grand final, so it shows that they will not throw the towel in. They have the ability, but again, messing around, flopping, trying to hold a man down. And that's a sheer sign, especially early in the second half, that they know that they're being caught, especially out wide. Good solid work from the Leeds forwards, dragged them into the centre, and they have the ability to use the runners out wide and then throw the ball with a long pass that cuts out players.
It's Duneman at dummy half, and he finds little Rob Burrow, who gets it away to Willie Poaching, who's made quite an impact. In fact, all the Leeds subs have made an impact since they came onto the field. This now is Danny Ward.
You can see there with the run from Ward how easy it is for Leeds getting over the advantage line.
Maguire, and he finds Ellis, who finds Senior. Good defence from Canterbury to keep him out. Hazem El Masri was there. Mathers, Marcus Bai went without it. And Canterbury will build from deep now. Ellis and Maguire with the tackle on Brighton.
It's been a great decision by El Masri to come in on Keith Senior. It's very difficult defending on the wing in rugby league. There's times you come in and get criticised for it, but every now and again you have to come in and stop the man and the ball. He did that and saved a try.
And that was Corey Hughes, and that's Sonny Bill Williams. What a pass! And the ball out wide went from Matua, and Leeds scrambled back in defence, but Sonny Bill Williams,
sheer quality, unbelievable.
It has just been pointed out to me that he is due off contract shortly. He's only 19. What a talent. How would he set the game alive in this country?
Well, would he ever? But is there any club in this country that could afford it? He's outstanding. And the most amazing thing about it, you know, is that he had the operation on the shoulder. He looked as though he was going to miss the first part of the NRL. And here he is playing tonight and playing outstanding.
Watch out for Sonny Bill Williams in our NRL coverage. It gets underway early next month. They begin in March. The race for the grand final down under begins on the 12th of March. We begin, of course, on the 11th of February. It's been snapped up here by Calderwood. Couldn't get away, though, on that far side.
Good job that Cutler got to him as well. Going to force it, a little bit more adventure coming from the Bulldogs.
Sonny Bill Williams claiming he pinched the ball off Rob Burrow then. Sean Hampstead said it's Leeds in possession.
Much better defence by the Bulldogs there.
It's a roughhouse tackle.
But they came as a unit.
Here is Sinfield. No way forward.
Go forward, over the tackle! Bulldogs.
Duneman. Not over the halfway line yet. That's the last tackle. Sinfield. Punts the ball downfield. Turning round Patton, and that will skip away and skip dead.
He'll be happy with that as well. The situation, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's gone too long, it's gone too deep. But you can see that the Leeds defence will be able to line up. Look at that. They'll go as a unit and try to just force the error. And they've come up with a few of the Canterbury side.
Let's go down to the sideline. Bill Arthur.
Thanks, Eddie. Standing alongside Brian McDermott and Stuart Wilkinson, the Leeds assistant coaches. Stuart, that must be a pretty happy dressing room at half-time.
Yeah, it was confident. I mean, it wasn't that they'd not played badly. We'd done exceptionally well against, you know, a really good team. But we know what they're capable of doing. So we've just gone out and said to ourselves, it's 0-0 again. Let's chisel it out again and do what we've been doing. There's things that we can do better. But yeah, it's bouncing with confidence at the moment.
They still pose a threat, though, don't they?
Absolutely. Have you seen here now? You know, they've come out this half.
Brilliant handling skills, and Luke Patton with the try under the sticks. Fantastic attacking skill on show there from the Bulldogs. They will fancy their chances now because they have scored first in this second half. We were full of praise for Leeds' offloading skills towards the end of that second half, but just take a look at this at the start of the second.
Fully deserved as well, and they paid the price. They allowed Grimaldi to run right across the base of the defensive line. What an offload by Corey Hughes. There's Grimaldi, and they just hang back when he comes back on the inside. What a beautiful pass. Good stuff from the fullback. Okay, came up with a major error in the first half, but he's made up for it. There's the other two.
Yes, Hazem El Masri doesn't miss those. It's 26-12 now. And Luke Patton, the try scorer, played all 28 games last year, 12 tries, and this one of the best.
Well, they are renowned for winning games that they have absolutely no right to win, and that goes back probably 20 years with this club. Whatever adversity they've been under, whenever they've been missing star players, they just seem to breed a mental toughness that's time and time again helped them to win games that nobody really would give them a chance. And maybe that try has just done it again.
Well, that will lift them, there's no doubt about that.
Well, they've changed their tactics as well. I mentioned in that first half that Canterbury really wanted to just mix it, show how tough they were. But now they've come out in this second stanza and they want to show that they can play quality rugby league football. They certainly showed it there. That was out of the top draw.
It was a great try. Well, they are arguably one of the major forces of the Australian game over the past 25 years. 5 of their 8 titles have come since 1980, and they contested another 3 grand finals in that period as well. And Bradley Clyde is well known to Leeds supporters and Super League viewers in this country after his spell with the Rhinos. He's now on the sideline talking with Chris.
Well, Brad, some good signs, certainly back into it at half-time. I spoke with your coach, Steve Folkes. He was certainly happy with the effort, so you can still win this.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's no excuses for what we went through in the first half, but, you know, we started well in the second, and we just can't make any errors. That's basically it. The bounce of the ball has got to favour us as well to come back from such a margin.
Brad, of course, you spent some time with Leeds Rhinos in 2001. You know all about these conditions. Very slippery out there. A few of your lads have lost their footing, particularly their first game of the new campaign. I guess they'd be pretty leg weary as well.
Yeah, that's right. Especially late in that first half, so many guys were getting tired, and that's just a match fitness thing. You know, they've underdone in that regard, but you know, we get out there and play some footy, especially early, and our confidence will grow, and anything can happen.
Thanks, Brad.
Anything can happen, and there's another high kick that Patton cannot deal with. The ball is flicked back, it's on the last. Leeds running it with Maguire. He flicks the ball away, he gets it somehow away, as does Sinfield under pressure. Oh, and Marcus Bai was in mid-air then, and Lolesi got to him, but there was pandemonium then in the Canterbury defence. Leeds just couldn't capitalise.
Well, Tony Smith, the coach, won't be happy with this. It was a good kick and chase. That was superb, but when they had the opportunity, they should have really put something on positive. They failed to do that. Marcus Bai, well, one of the wingers left in such a hopeless position.
Hands off now, let him up.
There's almost a hot spot here now in defence for Leeds, and it's out towards the right centre, although Patton goes down the middle.
Great run from Patton. Oh, and he's taken on Mathers for speed. Good job that Sinfield was back covering. And it's a quick play the ball, and here they come. Big hit. That's a terrific tackle by Poaching.
And that's where Leeds need to be strong, because Sonny Bill Williams and the whole Canterbury side know that that's the big strike point.
Oh, they've missed a tackle, and they're very lucky to get away with that, Leeds. Mathers tidies up the danger.
They certainly are. They just held off. Luke Patton got himself into this position. There's a mistake. Good job that Mathers was hanging around. A little doubt, Eddie, this Bulldog side, they've just got a little bit of a wind, thinking that they can sneak back into this game. Quick try.
Referee's blown the whistle. Think he saw a high challenge there on Ryan Bailey.
Quite a few of those. I must say, that wasn't it great to see a referee? Hampstead was so quick. Patton made the break, and he was stood at the side and saying, let him play the ball. He's impressed with this guy.
Well, the one thing Ryan Bailey does for his teammates, he did it for Great Britain when he played in the Tri-Nations, he wins them penalties, and in that area of the field, it's a great skill to have. I mean, he's just so difficult to tackle. He attracts fouls. It's just taking all the pressure now off the Rhinos. So easily.
One there's no doubt.
Well, when you play in the prop position there, Phil, there's no doubt you lose your looks pretty early in your career.
Senior.
Someone hands off now, let him up.
Couldn't get through Hazem El Masri or Corey Hughes. Maguire and Ward. Grimaldi in there quickly.
Good tactics by Leeds, just calm it down. They conceded a few clean breaks against them. They just want to work themselves back into a position. They know they've got a good kicking game. It was shown in the first 40.
Gareth Ellis is in at dummy half for Leeds. 10 metres from the Bulldogs line. Sinfield, the skipper, will straighten it up. Oof. Big hit by Adam Bryson. Here is Ellis again. What would he give for a try on this night? Last tackle for Leeds. It's with Maguire, who dabs the ball towards the post. It comes free. It's a try for Richie Mathers. The ball bounced in between the posts. It was a beautiful kick. And Richie Mathers, 2 days after the grand final, he was in for surgery on an injured wrist. He's back with a vengeance tonight. That's a great try. And this young man is developing into one of the best fullbacks in Super League.
We spoke about the quality of the kicking game, and it was there for all to see. If you see the quality of Danny Maguire with the ball in hand, he's also on the same level when it comes to the short kicking game. No doubt about it.
Give themselves a great chance. It's 3-1 that Patton's outnumbered. Surely one of the Rhinos is going to get there, and it was Mathers.
Got a bang on the nose as well, Richie Mathers. Former Great Britain Academy international. He beat the Aussie schoolboys in 2002 in that squad. And that's just the fillip that the Rhinos needed after conceding that early try. And he'll try and stem the flow of blood from the nose as Sinfield lines up his sixth kick of the night. Bang in front. The 20-point advantage should be restored.
composure. The way that Leeds, they just got rattled. The break from Patton, the try from Patton, making them a little bit nervous, but the forwards did their hard work. They slowed it down, got themselves into a good position. And Mathers, there he is. Look at the claret dropping out of his nose. And if the referee sees that, we'll have to get him off on the blood bin.
And here come the Rhinos again in the shape of Ellis. They won't turn it in though, Canterbury. No doubt about that. Poaching. Punishing run up the middle. Attracts 4 would-be tacklers to him. 2 of them get him. Burrow. Wall.
Again, we see the tight play. There you see the little bit of a shove which brought about the claret to be running from his nose. Wasn't too impressed either, Richard Mathers. But the way that this Leeds pack has played tonight has been quite superb. They've been eager, willing to try to get through and ensure that they apply the pressure. And what a kick that is.
Great kick. Oh, Marcus By just brushed aside. Oh! It inside. And it is Jamie Jones Buchanan. What on earth was going through the mind of Hazem El Masri? Steve Folkes cannot believe it. And I don't think half of Australia can either. And Jamie Jones Buchanan comes up with the try after an absolute howler from Hazem El Masri.
Well, it was a howler. There's 2 things that happen with pressure. You can either feel it or you can apply it. And here, Hazem El Masri is put under intense pressure in the corner. Chased down, he knows he's going to do something special to get out, back into the field of play. Tries to offload to Patton, presents a try to Leeds, and that's a perfect back-to-back try. They kicked early on the 4th tackle, they forced Canterbury into mistake, and they had the hunger and desire to come up with a try.
Well, I think it's all over now. That mistake, a few of the heads went down on the Canterbury side. Not for this fella though, Jamie Jones Buchanan. Slowly but surely last season he improved, and he'll enjoy that. Listen to this crowd. They're pretty sure that silverware's going back to Headingley.
The 7th Leeds try, converted by Kevin Sinfield, and what will really make them happy in Leeds is that 6 of those 7 tries have been scored by players produced in the Headingley Academy. The only odd man out, Willie Poaching, but Jamie Jones Buchanan, like Mathers, like Burrow, like Maguire, like Calderwood and Walker, have all come through the Headingley system. 38-12, Brian Noble in the studio. Polish that cup, Brian, it's on its way to Headingley.
It certainly is, and Canterbury, for all their dogged spirit and all their bulldog attitude, they're not going to win this one. It's all for the Rhinos. They're going to put some pride back in the jumper for sure though, Canterbury, because they've shown signs of punishing Leeds a little bit around the ruck recently on certain plays. They've just got to keep hold of the ball, cause some pressure, they'll score points, but that trophy is certainly going back to Headingley.
Well, that penalty could have gone either way, but Barry McDermott's got to get to his feet and play the ball properly. Here is a chance for Canterbury here with Lawlessi, and it's a time here for Leeds now to muscle up in defence and show what they can do. They come down the short side, it's El Masri, and he gets over for the try immediately. Hazem El Masri, his 2nd try of the night for the Bulldogs. Controversial maybe, the penalty could have gone either way, as McDermott was penalised for not playing the ball properly, but Hazem El Masri, show him the line, and he scores the try.
Great work here, Brett Oliver on this short blind side. This is the penalty, as you said, he could have gone either way. Looked to me as though Asatosi was all over the big fella, Barry McDermott, but take nothing away from El Masri. It needed to be scored. You can see there that Marcus By just drifted in slightly, left the door open, picked up the try and fully deserved.
Well, Hazem El Masri has scored 2 tries and he has kicked 2 goals, and this is by far his most difficult, but I'll tell you something, Hazem El Masri is a goal kicker of splendid quality. He's been practicing from this end all the way through the pre-match build-up. He's picked up the line. He thinks he knows the way to goal, but he has just pushed it the wrong side of the post this time. Rather like Tiger Woods then on the 18th. He picked the line, didn't he, all the way to the hole, but just didn't quite get there.
Just shows you the determination on his face. I mean, this guy is somewhere in around about 96% success rate. And every time he misses, it looks as though the entire world has come crumbling down upon him.
35 successful kicks in a row he managed once upon a time. It was a world record. And I think Barry Eaton from the Batley Bulldogs these days also claims that world record. And the two met, I understand, earlier this week. Exchanged a word or two after a training session. Well, here come the Bulldogs again. Sonny Bill Williams with another breathtaking offload. He found Matua, who was injured in the tackle. And here's Grimaldi, and there's, well, it was a short ball. Oh, the referee says play on. And the prop forward Asatazi took a couple of Leeds Rhinos out then, and Grimaldi held on to the ball. Now we will play it. That was Corey Hughes. And this now is Willie Tonga.
They've got nothing to lose now, Canterbury. You've got to keep this ball alive. We've shown the quality and the skill.
That's one here. And Oliver jabs the kick in. Marcus Pye picks up on his own line. Tries to step his way out of the tackle. That could have been a penalty by Nate Miles. Here's McDermott. Now he'll get up and play the ball properly this time.
Only just. And they were all over. What a hit.
Williams on Bailey.
Bailey had a little look and said, where did you come from?
Well, we talk about his offload skills, Sonny Bill Williams.
He's got it all.
How about that for a tackle? Now then, here is Maguire. Here is Senior. Marcus Pye. Another one! Another one from Sonny Bill Williams, and Marcus Pye's legs are like jelly.
Steve, you're glad you're up here.
What a hit. I mean, this guy, he doesn't just rest on his laurels and say, you know, I put it there. Barry went pretty high there. Watch this. Now remember, he's come up with one just a couple of seconds ago.
And he had shoulder surgery, didn't he?
Yeah, and he gets back into the line. Oh.
Well, he's 19 years of age. He'll be around for a long, long time. Sonny Bill Williams. Mind you, hits like that, he might not hit. Wow. Here's Grimaldi. Oh, the kick's not the best, but it might come up for them. It has. El Masri flips the ball inside. And Maguire has missed a tackle on Lolesi. And Lolesi will score for the Bulldogs. Well, that was absolutely comedy capers. The kick was ridiculous.
What about the skill from El Masri? It was almost like a soft hand volleyball back inside to Lolesi.
You've got to ping the trouble on this though. You know, they applied the pressure to Grimaldi. Okay, neat work now by the winger Masri, but they should have gone for the legs. Maguire tried to go for the shirt.
Well, Marcus Pye should have gone for the ball, shouldn't he?
Pretty hard. It bobbled all over the place. Good work by the winger, but Maguire, you can't grab in this game, son. You've got to make sure you get the legs, and he would have stopped him. Wry smile from Steve Folkes. Maybe consolation. He knows that perhaps time is running out, but they will not lie down. I think that Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, may just have the odd word to Danny Maguire.
Well, Hazem El Masri, he had a kick from here just in front of the posts only minutes ago. And he's tried to drift this one in, and he's gone too far the other way. 38 points to 20. Well, the Bulldogs will not lie down.
You're right there, but it's amazing, isn't it? You know, they did everything right in the Leeds defence. They applied the pressure onto the kicker, Tony Grimaldi. And it was comedy capers, but you forced the issue, and they came up trumps.
Let's go down to the studio. Brian Noble watching, and also Ian Millward. Ian, Canterbury showing what they are capable of all the way through this match.
Well, you've got to give it to Sonny Bill. There's a few little matchups from the Tri-Series too, with Asatasi from New Zealand against Bailey. But that tackle he made actually made Marcus Byer a bit shaky on that kick then. If you look at the kicking game at the moment, Eddie, they've scored 4 tries, Leeds, from kicks, and they've come through desire to chase the ball. Outstanding chasers, and now we've got 1 try now from a kick from Canterbury. I'll tell you what, take your hat off to Sonny Bill. You can be a flair person in attack. Gee, you'll tough it out in defence too.
Leeds have got to tough it out in defence here now, because the Bulldogs coming forward again. That is Asatasi, and they keep this ball alive brilliantly. And again, this is Corey Hughes, and he finds the try scorer Alessi. And Richard Mathers is the man who pulls him down. Quick play of the ball though, El Masri, and he finds the substitute Oliver. It's a high hanging kick. They're all after this. It's brilliantly claimed by Chev Walker. And
is this Calderwood special, or is told it to hang on?
Well, it could go now. Leeds are all onside.
Well, it's his speciality, isn't it?
It is, and Leeds were all back behind the 20-metre line.
Should have allowed it.
He could have blown the whistle. Probably would have done if it had been Super League.
Good test here for Leeds now. They've been under pressure. Canterbury side coming back. Who's going to roll the sleeves up? So they'll take the ball forward. It's gone on to Mathers. Finding it tough to make the yards. Just lost the shape and lost the pattern, I think. Somebody's got to take it forward.
Chris McKenna steps out of one challenge. This is Rob Burrow. Maguire. Oh, and the pass was a little bit over elaborate. Briary McDermott just fumbled it.
They should have taken that, Eddie. Neat little inside pass, but as we saw from the try where Jamie Jones-Buchanan made full use of the mistake from El Masri, it's the ability at times for Leeds just to slow it down, work their way back into it, that Phil Clark was talking about. They're just panicking a little bit.
The Bulldogs will keep on coming. Now then, inside Elland Road tonight, 37,000, and that's the best attendance for a World Club Challenge in this part of the world. There were 54,000 in Brisbane the night that Phil Clark's Wigan won it, way back in 1994. But there is 37,000 in here tonight, just shading the 37,000 that was inside Central Park when Manly took on Wigan in the first one of these in 1987.
Well, they're chancing their arm at the Bulldogs, and full credit to them.
And here they come again with Oliver, who feeds it wide. Oh, great stepping here from Cutler, and Leeds, they have it all to do here to keep them out. Another try, and Canterbury really will fancy their chances. Good hands again, they're in! They are in, are they? No, that's great defence! Wonderful defence from Richie Mathers. He got underneath Asatasi, but he's got Leeds for offside.
Maybe advantage.
Well, that's cool.
Good referee, and he knew that they come off the line too quick, Eddie.
Let him go.
Wonderful effort from Mathers for all of that. And here is Corey Hughes. He gets it out to Alessi. He's got to score. McKenna thinks otherwise. Great defence from Chris McKenna. Hazem El Masri. Oliver, short ball. This is Miles. Great defence from Leeds. Can they hang out for another 3? El Masri again. It's with Oliver once more. He flicks the ball back. Another big collision. The ball comes out though, and Grimaldi scores for the Bulldogs. They are not done yet, the Canterbury Bulldogs. The captain comes up with the latest try.
I've been impressed with this Brett Oliver since he came off the bench. Certainly started to spread the ball around with a lot more venom. And he has been rewarded with sheer effort.
Well, he deserves a reward for coming back on the field after what the collision he was involved with Barry McDermott. That is tough. You talk about toughness in life. It's been tough to come back on there. He's got stuck in the action, supported the play. He knows that his players are going to get their hands free. Puts himself in the right position. Just got to dive over the line.
Yeah, it was a good try, well finished, but well made by the substitute Brett Oliver. Maybe not getting too jittery at the moment, Tony Smith, but the way that Leeds have stopped defending is quite remarkable at it.
3 quick tries, and that converted that one. 38 points to 26. It's only a 12-point ball game now.
Well, remember, Ian Millwood, our special guest tonight, St. Helens, they looked completely out of it. They came back, absolutely tremendous effort. Are we going to have a repeat?
Well, 2 converted tries, another converted try by Canterbury, and the jitters will start for the Rhinos. That's a good chase. And the ball has come free. Oh, it's a steal. The referee penalises Leeds for a steal in the tackle.
I think he got the message from the touch judge. And again, that's a good shout. It was more than one man in attendance. You could see the arm just flick the ball away.
Well, suddenly Canterbury have grown in confidence, they've grown in stature. Those 3 quick tries really have put the cat amongst the pigeons here. This is the prop forward, Asatazi.
I think the Leeds, perhaps, they just thought they were home and hose. All they've got to do is just keep continuing on, but they just put the cue on the rack, and as far as I'm concerned, their defence, their one line of defence has all gone astray.
It looks as though Leeds are in reverse at the moment. It's so easy for Canterbury to work their way downfield and get into an attacking position.
Here is Oliver, now it's with Grimaldi, the skipper.
Well, the amazing thing about this game is that how it's progressing is that we all thought, everybody in this country, that Canterbury would tire late in the game. But it's the other way around at the moment.
Great crossfield kick from Corey Hughes, but straight down the throat of Mark Calderwood. Oh, one-on-one, a steal by Grimaldi. And there's going to be a try here, is there?
That's going to be a penalty, 2-on-1. And he's given it as Hampstead. He's got it spot on as the referee. First it was a steal from Grimaldi, and then there was 2-on-1. Went reverse, he'll take the tap. Boy, nerves starting to jingle here.
And they take the quick tap, and here is Corey Hughes. It comes wide to Asatazi, and they have 2 men on the overlap. Asatazi wants to get up and play the ball quickly. Hazem El Masri waits, he will go on his own. Hazem El Masri, Leeds will force him back. Inside the last 10 minutes, 12 points the difference. Asatazi dummy half, back it comes to Corey Hughes, slips, just loses momentum. Here's the hooker Perry. 3 tackles gone. Canterbury finishing the stronger. Great defence.
Canterbury as well looked after there by Kevin Sinfield, made sure that Sonny Bill couldn't offload.
This is Oliver, he spins the ball wide, it's Willie Tonga. Willie Tonga out again to Lulesi, who goes in for the try. It's his second. 4 tries without response from the Canterbury Bulldogs. And suddenly Leeds are rocking. They had the game won in an hour.
And fair play to Canterbury. We knew they wouldn't just throw in the towel, we knew they'd keep going. But it's surprising everybody, it's surprising Leeds. They were basking in the glory. They'd sent the message out to Headingley, get the silver polish out. Well, the guys put it back in the cupboard, boys. There's still time for them to come back. And they are stunned. This huge crowd here thought they were just going to have the biggest celebration in the history of the Leeds club, and now the brain box has started to quiver.
Well, we've said that Canterbury thrive on being the underdogs. I mean, probably written off by everybody in the stadium apart from the coach and themselves at half-time. Was the motivation they needed. Well, he needs a little motivation to try and convert this one, because it would be an important kick if it goes over.
Oh, will it ever be an important kick? This will bring it back to a 6-point ball game, and suddenly the spectre of extra time and a golden point looms on the horizon if this is kicked. Hazem El Masri, one of the best in the world, and that is the reason why. What a kick! 38 points to 32. Brian Noble, Ian Millwood. What's going to happen in the next 10 minutes?
In the next 10 minutes, it's going to be one humdinger. Leeds just need to get the ball and hold on to it for 6 and create some, get themselves back in the game. They just haven't touched the ball for the last 10 minutes, and that's within 4 tries. And what Bulldogs are doing really, really well is offloading the ball. They're supporting each other. They've got the belief, they've got the momentum. Leeds are a little bit of those mini free-fall play phases that you get in the game. They've just got to find some control and get themselves back up the right end of the field.
It's 7 tries to 6 in Leeds' favour, but Ian Millwood, can the Rhinos, never mind celebrate, can they hang on?
Let's go back at, 10-15 minutes. Sonny Bill, those bone-crushing tackles, has absolutely lifted the Canterbury team, and now there's so much self-belief, they're finding space. I don't think a few of the Leeds blokes are real comfortable at the moment tearing into them. They are ripping apart. You can talk about second win, you can talk about everything. They are coming home. The offloads are converting now into points. The offloads aren't there for Leeds. They don't have field position. Oh, strap in, Eddie.
Indeed so. Buckle up. It could be a rocky ride. And, well, as I say, 4 tries that Canterbury have scored in a quarter of an hour. It's 7-6 in terms of try scoring to the Leeds Rhinos. And it's only the converted try that stands between them and the Bulldogs just now.
And there's no fluke about all those 4 tries. They tested their arm, they kept it alive, and they've had the ability, what Leeds did in the first half, was to suck in the defence and then get it out wide.
And the ironic cheers all round this ground because Sean Hampstead has just given Leeds a penalty.
That was a huge play from Chef Walker. He made 10 metres and it's difficult to stop. They try to hold him down. That's exactly what they needed, just to lift them now. Can they kick on with that now? Control the next set of possession and apply some pressure to the Bulldogs.
I think I saw the number 12 being held up there by the 4th official. It's the last change for Leeds then, if that's the case. They go now with what's out there on the field, and this crowd is doing its best to lift the team. And Maguire doing his best to lift them as well.
Well, this is where the kicking game has to come in for the Rhinos. They've got to try to get consecutive sets of 6. Don't waste an opportunity. They're in the best position on the field and play.
Do they go for a field goal?
It's Maguire, it's Bailey taking the ball in front of the sticks. Oh, lost! 2 on 1! 2 on 1! Referee says there's a knock on, and there's certainly some feeling between Sonny Bill Williams and Ryan Bailey.
Is there ever? But they can run, they can dummy, sidestep, offload, come up with some crunching tackles. He's not frightened to throw one either. Ripped it away, lost it, there's a knock on.
But I think that was 2 on 1. There was certainly a man involved in the tackle originally. Referee's called time off and wants a word. It's a knock on against Canterbury. It's going to be Leeds feed.
I'm sure the message going down from this fella is that if you do get a chance, take the 1 point. Doesn't matter how many you win by.
Well, that would just ease the pressure. Yeah. But a match they were winning with ease until the last quarter of an hour. And now we're talking about a 1 point drop goal to take the pressure off. Funny old game.
Oh, they've had a push in the pack.
Referee's not happy with it though.
Lucky to get away with that. That ball came flying out the Canterbury side.
Well, credit Maguire, he got to it first.
You got the fight, Lloyd.
They've been spending some time with the England review team. Maybe they started to push in the scrum.
Leeds go with what's left. Canterbury with 2 remaining, and if it gets to golden point, I think they have a couple more options.
The most sensible thing to do is to make sure that they keep in this area. Little kick into the in goal area, get it, another 6.
Maguire bounces off one, bounces off another, manages to offload to Burrow.
He'll throw hands off now, letting go. All the way, Dogs, all the way, stand up with it.
And here's Mathers.
No way.
Mathers. Almost through with Gareth Ellis. Burrow. Sinfield, drop goal from Sinfield. That will win it. That will seal it for Leeds. Not even Canterbury surely can score 2 tries in less than 3 minutes. Leeds will win the World Club crown, but boy, it has been a battle in this second half.
It certainly has. Full credit to the Canterbury side. They could have just given in, but they didn't. the quality here. Sinfield's had a big game. He's controlled things out there. And that's what you need. You need a skipper that can just calm it down. That's how important it is. His career has been up and down like a yo-yo. I think that Steve Folkes realises now that all hope has gone. They'll go for the short one, which they've done, but a bit too long.
Can Leeds finish with a real flourish? Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Front two ends off now, let go, his legs, let go. Stand up with it.
Another real nozzle round the tackle.
Well, that should have been a penalty. I mean, that was just ludicrous what was happening there.
Oh, and Ellis taken a bit high by Oliver, didn't like it. Here's Rob Burrow.
Oh, this is getting past the joke. The official, he just doesn't bother now.
Maguire. Still Maguire. Last tackle for Leeds.
Got to be a good kick. Get it in the touch, and we'll take the time in regards to. That's it. That's good thinking. Take the time to form the scrum. Keep the defence. Well, it was all smiles, wasn't it, half an hour ago on the sidelines. Maybe the message can be sent back up to Headingley that yes, he can get out the silver polish to add to the Super League trophy that they won last year.
I think the referee's flying to putting this scrum down here. He knows with Ryan Bailey in the front row, anything could happen.
Down they go. Big push on. And he wants the scrum to reform. I noticed the Canterbury trainer came out and he said, get yourselves ready for the scrum, because then the referee is forced to hold the clock up if Leeds aren't down there as well. So here they come. And Leeds have got 20 seconds to survive, and Tony Smith will add the World Club crown to the Super League title he won last year. 10 seconds to go, and 37,000 Leeds voices count down to glory as the fight erupts again between Bailey and Sonny Bill Williams. It's all over. Leeds are the World Club champions. And the referee has finally blown the whistle. He's called time, and still it goes on out in the middle. There is some feeling out there. Everyone's shaking hands. The referee has blown the final whistle. It is all over. Leeds are the World Club champions. What a battle though in that second half. 4 late tries and the nerves were jangling, but they held on in the end. They win it by 7 points, and Bill Arthur is with Tony Smith.
Tony, I think the look on your face might suggest just how tense things got.
It was a great spectacle, I thought. Really, some extraordinary rugby league played there, and I think it showed what 2 quality teams they are. They threw everything at us, and they came back, but it showed we can play a bit over here as well. I thought some great skill, and it was it's a real shot in the arm for British Rugby League, I think.
The fact that you had to resort to a 1-pointer at the end, though, suggests that it was anything but comfortable.
Oh, we knew that. It's only the media that was saying that Canterbury weren't up to strength. We knew that'd be a tough game. We knew that all week. We prepared for it, and we were happy to get away with it with 1 point or 10 points. It wouldn't have mattered.
Thanks, Tony. Well, the 1 point came from the boot of Kevin Sinfield. It got a bit twitchy towards the end there, didn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. We played some good stuff in the first half, but second half, they come back, we spilled a lot of ball, and we're giving the ball to a good side, and they're going to attack us and score tries, so thankfully we managed to scrape it at the end, but we're very pleased, obviously, but there's a lot of work for us to do.
You couldn't get hold of the ball, could you?
No, and when we did, we dropped it, so it's a lot of work for us to do in training this week.
it's back to reality. Hull away next week, and we'll enjoy tonight, but it's going to be a tough one.
Well, no, you've got no party planned, have you? It's straight back to work, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. We'll be swimming straight after this, and heads on really. Hopefully it'll be the start of a big season for us.
And Hull next weekend, as you suggest. I mean, this is tough. A nice preparation for what is going to be a really tough game.
Yeah, exactly. This was our focus through pre-season, and I suppose Hull's focus will have been Leeds, and be a tough game. It always is up there, but we'll look forward to it.
Kevin, you had to miss out on the Tri-Nations. You had to watch while Great Britain suffered here last November. So to come back here and to do it with Leeds must be sweet for you.
Yeah, it's great. I think we all suffered a bit that second half as well, but yeah, it's great to lift another trophy, and to have that. The title of World Club Champions is something very special for Leeds.
Thanks, Kevin. Well done.
Thank you.
So Leeds have won the World Club Championship, but only just. They gave us a real fright in the end, didn't they? Those 4 tries late on in the match from the Canterbury Bulldogs gave us a real fright. And Brian Noble, well, they won, but only just.
And it's great that they won. British team get up. They were completely controlling the game, full enough until Canterbury started scoring. Then they had a bit of a problem because they went into a little bit of free fall, and it can happen. Sometimes, you're on the back foot, and you just need a break to go your way, and I thought Kevin Sinfield did the correct thing right at the end there, took the pressure out of the game, and they just got a little bit fidgety, did Leeds, but we saw the quality of Canterbury flying at the line. All their offloads were sticking, and if you look at the second half, you have to say that they were the better team, by a bit of a distance. El Masri gifted Leeds a try, and then young Mathers came through with a good kick try, and then it was all Canterbury, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Danny Maguire apparently has won the Man of the Match award, and he will receive his trophy before the World Club Challenge trophy is handed over. And I think the puff on the cheeks said it all. It was a real struggle at the end to hold the Bulldogs out. Fantastic match though, great finish. 4 tries in the last quarter of an hour. Leeds, I think they had the cue on the rack. I think they thought they were home and hosed.
Well, we talk about the tries, but it was a contributor to the way they defended Canterbury. They really upped the ante. Their physical contact was outstanding. Probably supplied by the best player in the world at the moment, and one of the youngest, in Sonny Bill Williams. His contact and defence was outstanding. The other interesting thing is they will rue the day where they conceded 4 tries from kicks, 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half, and that's been the major contributor to their loss today. And, it's an old saying, game of 2 halves. Canterbury's won the second half, Leeds won the first, but their clinical work in the first half got them the World Club champions.
Tony Grimaldi leads the Canterbury Bulldogs up to receive losers' medals. A great effort from them, and one thing you can say about the Aussies, Brian, they never say die, do they?
Well, they were just sparked up instantly. As Ian mentioned there, that the shoulder operation that Sonny Bill Williams had in the off-season, I think I'll send a few of my players to have one, even if they don't need one. Because it actually sparked. It's funny enough, sometimes a defensive action or a big hit, a big contact, a great tackle lifts your team. And it certainly lifted them, and we saw that, you go to sleep, it's like, if you use a cricket analogy, the reason Australia runs so many teams out is because, right, where did that come from? I didn't expect that. They expect to get something on every play, and I suppose that's another one of the lessons we can learn from tonight.
Well, Ali Lawatiti came to the British game from the NRL, Phil Clark, and well, I don't know whether St Helens or Bradford or Wigan or Leeds or whoever have got the money, but you would break the bank to get Sonny Bill Williams over here, wouldn't you?
I think if you ever get an opportunity to see Sonny Bill Williams play rugby, you should take it. Wherever in the world, he is fantastic, and really he did make the difference. We've seen him the Leeds side going up. Great experience, I think, tonight for Leeds. They've had a period of time where they've promised a lot in rugby league, but have failed to lift the trophies when it's mattered. They lifted one, obviously, last year at the grand final, and it's a massive confidence boost for them again here, I think, especially the young lads. To play in that sort of intensity against some of the best players from Australia will no doubt benefit them for the remainder of this Super League season.
And there was some spite in it, wasn't there, Stephen?
Well, there always is, and I mean, British against the Australians, you're not going to be playing tiddlywinks, that's for sure. There's no love lost, and I think it showed that. I think it was more frustration right at the end of this game, and full credit to Canterbury. you know, they really were down and out, but they changed their tactics. You know, folks, their coach obviously had a few words to say at half-time. They chanced their arm and they kept the ball alive. It was something that Leeds controlled in the first 40. It turned around, and Danny Maguire, well, he has shown his good quality and his class tonight. But I must say that Sonny Bill Williams must have run him very, very close for the Man of the Match award.
Big moment here then for Kevin Sinfield. Leeds Rhinos are the champions of the world. That's the Super League trophy and the World Club trophy that young man has lifted over the past 4 months or so. Let's hear from the beaten Australian coach, Steve Folkes of the Bulldogs. He's with Chris.
Well, Steve, you must be very impressed with that fight back. You said at half-time you were pleased with the effort in the first half, despite the 20-point margin behind. The fight back, though, a lot of courage from a lot of young faces.
Yeah, as I said, half-time, I was really happy with the way we were going. You know, we probably gifted them 18 points from not recovering kicks, but, you know, they played pretty well. They scored a couple of really good tries, so, you know, congratulations to them.
I mean, back in your era, Steve, you were known as the entertainers. Did you believe that you could come back like you did?
Oh, you know, at 26-6 at half-time, 20 points. There's not a lot in the modern game. I don't think 3 tries is pretty easy to come by if you get a bit of possession. So, yeah, I guess we fell short at the end, but yeah, as I said, I'm really happy with the effort, and a few young guys really stood up.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Well, they really did stand up. The Canterbury Bulldogs gave us a real show, as did these Leeds Rhinos. Let's take nothing away from them. 39 points to 32. They have won. They are the champions of the world. These two know what it means to a club to win the World Championship. Fantastic feeling for the lads of Leeds tonight.
Outstanding. They'll love it tonight. They'll love it through the week, and they should love it through the year everywhere they go. They're the world champions, and they should wear that tag with pride. They thoroughly deserve it. They deserve the win tonight. Let's not take anything away from them.
And it sets us up beautifully now for the start of a new season. Very quickly, Ian, looking forward to it?
Well, I can't wait. You know, everyone's recruited well. The bottom teams are recruited more because there's 2 teams going down. The top teams, it's more even. There's no one standout team. Brian reckons Leeds are unbeatable. I reckon someone's going to beat them, Brian.
Well, we shall see. And it might just be next week. But all that's still to come. Live tonight. Here after the break, it's boxing as Arturo Gatti takes on Jesse James Elijah. And now on Sky Sports 2, US Golf from the FBR Open. And a reminder that coming up next week, the start of the brand new Super League season. Boots and all will preview it in a 2-hour special on Sky Sports 2, Monday night from 8. And then we'll see Leeds again next Friday at 7:30 at Hull. And Leeds take on Huddersfield in their Super League opener next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Great way to start, though, the World Club Championship. Thanks to the boys for being here. And well done to the Leeds Rhinos, champions of the world.
For a time I felt my faith, it must be hiding. Searching through the sky, hoping to find a way to get me through the day. Wonder where I belong, is this where I should stay? Lift me up when I am falling, put my fair when I was crawling. Now I'm on top of the world, top of the whole wide world. Yeah, you've always been believing in my life, a whole new meaning. Now I'm on top of the world, top of the whole wide world. It's a strength in me, it seems I had forgotten. Now I realize today